my boyos. Here we go.
Yeah, man, we are live. It is a Thursday night reality check. I got Muhammad with me tonight. I think, Muhammad, this is the first time. Maybe you've been here for the start. I'm not sure, but welcome, Muhammad. Muhammad is live from Australia tonight. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a good time tonight, boyos and ladies. A couple things we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna go over some headlines real quick first, but the topic of tonight is "It's not over." Okay. There's a phrase that's used in the manosphere, black pill community, other communities, that it's over for you. And we're not just talking about women. We're talking about everything. I've got an incredible, I don't know if I'd call it incredible, but I'm not sure of the word, but I'm going to play some videos from this kid who has basically made videos about it's over. I'm not sure where he's at, but you're going to be shocked when you see this like I was. First of all, a couple things. There is some news. I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's a rumor. I don't know if it's rumor, if it's true, but Kevin Samuels has passed away. Now, we don't know if that's true. I know I just told Muhammad about it, but I did look on Twitter and other places. So if it is the case, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. And I'm sure we'll all find out the truth sooner or later. So, but yeah, that's some news. But and Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo. We're gonna rock and roll tonight. Yeah, the topic tonight is "It's not over." Okay. There's a lot of things I think in the manosphere that are productive, helpful, and we'll say men's content. But the phrase "it's over" is one of the ones that kind of spurgs me out a little. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Let me look in the chat and kind of recognize everybody. We got Extraordinary. Good to see you. You can't fool Pops. What's up, Pops? Alexio. Good to see you. Frank Pesci. Yeah, I sent out some links. Anybody wants to jump on, man. Peg Bell. Good to see you. Arabian. Am I saying that right? Arabian, I'm not even sure how to do it, but good to see you. The Lost Fathers, good to see you. I know you're a friend of Muhammad's. Uncle Guns, good to see you, man. Awesome. Black Pill Vasectomy, good to see you. Primal Man, my boy, what's up? The Darkest Night, it's the comment of the night already. It's over. It's not over, my man. It's not. Let's get that out of our head. Yeah. I do. Where is it here? I gotta say hi to Uncle Guns. I think it's right here. Let me see. Is this it?
Salve, Uncle Guns.
Salve, Uncle Guns. Good to see you, man. All right, let's check it out. See who else is here in the chat. I don't want to miss anybody. Dwayne Hicks. Good to see you, man. All right, let's do this. All right, let's talk about "It's Over." Okay. I think the original, I had a long talk with Caduceus here, and I think the original thought of "it's over" is, I think it relates to dating. Okay. Say you're with a girl and it's just over. So you're going to move on, you know? But I think this pertains to more than just dating. I think it pertains to life in general. There's a lot of things that men and women are distressed about in this world. So I think people are hurting. And the reason I say that is because I'll say in the past month, I've had an unusual amount of direct messages on Twitter, Instagram, and emails. And like I say, on this channel, I don't give advice. I give support. And I think that's important that we do that, is we support people. Advice can be your take on something. When you're giving advice, I get that you're trying to help somebody, but that's not always the case. You don't know what's really going on in the world. A lot of people don't really express the pain that they're having or the hurt that they're having. So I think it's time that we start supporting people. And I'll give you an example of support. Say somebody reaches out to you and they're not doing well. Let them know that you're going to, put them in your favorite contacts. So anytime, day or night, they can reach out to you. And that's really, really important. Knowing that if they just need an ear to talk to, one thing I like to say is, I got you. And that's real important. I got you is the biggest thing that you can tell somebody. It's just real important. People need to know that they have somebody that has their back. Okay. You can give them a shoulder, you can give them an ear, but that's real important nowadays. That's my take on that. Mohammed, you want to jump in on that?
I think I've done this several times, that people like from USA, and I fully agree that some people, you just tell them that, yeah, you're there for them if this requires, and it is important. Because to me, what's happening is people are, so to speak, they are anchorless. They have no anchor, and they have nothing that anchors them in their lives, in their psychological being. And it's very disturbing. I've met a couple of people who did not know who their fathers were, and they were driven by this intense desire to know who their parents were, biological parents. And there's no substitute for knowing that. And then everything else that you described, Tony, is kind of an extension and extrapolation of that very, very primal instinct. We need connection amongst each other, with each other as human beings, and nothing can replace that. So I could not agree more. I've extended my phone number to many people over last, I think, 5 years. I mentored someone in USA who was studying to become a doctor, and bear in mind, free of charge. I think it's an insult. I would be violating my responsibility if I asked for money for doing that. And this is who and what we should do as men, to offer our support, especially to younger ones, but also to our own peers, whether in age, whether in profession, or even sometimes when they are seniors. And it really matters.
And it does, and I don't want to forget about the women, because, so much of the manosphere comes down on women. And I get that. I get the whole feminist thing. I get that. I get it in a big way. But women need your support and need your shoulder also. You can have a friend as a woman that needs something from you, and it can just be an ear to talk to. So we don't want to forget about that. I don't think it's right that I don't think you should bleed too much to a woman. Let's just put it that way. I think that can be dangerous. We've all fallen short, man. We all have. Let's face it. Everybody's fallen short. Everybody's fell back, I call it, a bit. And I think it's important that we support all people. It's our friends, our family, but we got to do what we can to just be available for people. And that's the most important. Being available is key. That's what I call support. But I want to go into this video. Everybody who's watching, there's a channel. I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to mute for a bit, but I don't have two monitors, so I got to kind of bounce back and forth. But I'm going to share this. I'm going to give you a little backstory. I think it was Self-Made had dropped this in the Discord. And at first, I really thought it was satire. But as I started going through the channel and kind of looking at this young dude, I did offer him to come on. So by chance, Sub5, if you're watching, just comment in the comments. I don't know what time it is where you are. Probably 3 a.m. Sounds like just from your accent. But yeah, man, if you're watching, just Alexio says satire. So Alexio has the greatest comments here, man. I love it. So, all right. Yeah, Alexio saw that post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. You guys let me know if it sounds good. But I'm going to share it here, and I want your guys' feedback on this. So here we go. Boyos. All right. Everybody can see that good? All right, I'm going to fire this up here. Let me know how the sound is.
I'm going to be doing some black build content. You know, as a incel person, I've never had a girlfriend, never held hands with a girl, never kissed a girl, never done anything with a girl, and I'm 19 years old. You know, people when I was in school fucking lost their virginity when they were like fucking 13. Here's me still living with my mum, sitting in my bedroom every day, fucking doing fuck all with my life. Work a shit job, you know, it's over. Looks is all that matters. If you don't have the good genetics, it's over. You know, back when I was in school, you know, all the popular kids and shit used to beat the shit out of me. You know, I wonder why that was. Probably because I looked like shit, had no friends. You know, that's another reason as well why I probably had no friends, because I looked like shit.
All right. I'm curious what everybody thinks already, man. Muhammad, what do you got? You got any input on this?
Yeah.
Bad.
I mean, whenever I hear something like this, it's so multifactorial, so complex. The first thing I want to know is, because I've met men who are now in their 30s, late 30s, and 40s, and they are just as resentful as this, or sad, or black-pilled as this young lad is. And most of the time, the common theme that I find amongst those men is that they were not raised by their parents with love. They were left to their own devices. Uh, every single one of them has said to me, they left me to do all the growing on my own. They didn't want to spend time with me. They were busy in their lives. So that's what I would want to know. What was that? His story is from that point of view, and that's just one aspect. And then we go on to this complex thing that when see the culture is held, the glue that holds a culture and a civilization intact is the set of moral values which keeps everything in intact. Once you destroy that fabric, then everything starts to fall apart, and this is the evidence of that. You don't have a set moral values. The religious moral values or any moral values have been expunged, and when you do that, then this is one of the innumerable outcomes that we will have to face. And you can see that this happening everywhere around us. He's not the only one, unfortunately.
I want to make a comment here and say that I'm not playing this to make fun of this kid.
Absolutely not.
My heart totally went out to this dude. And
Yep.
to me, it's a result of watching too much doom and gloom content. Okay.
Yep. That plays its role.
I watched every one of these videos that this kid has, and it just got worse and worse. And we'll kind of get into it. But again, at first I thought it was satire. I'm like, man, if this is satire, this is absolutely, this kid needs to be on stage. It's that good.
Yep. Yep.
But to get to a point, I'm thinking when I was his age, I believe he's about 20 years old. And I'm thinking, there is no way. I think of my, 19, 20, when I was 19 and 20, and I'm like, I wasn't even close to this. So is this the result of the internet age, of being able to search for doom and gloom, and then you attach yourself to it? One thing I have in my notes here is gloom and doom can be contagious, man. It can be. If you find a group of guys that are, I don't want to say experiencing the same thing as you are, but are like not building each other up, man, it's just a recipe for disaster. And you're going to listen here. I'm going to continue on, but you got to listen to some of the things that this kid says, man. And when he talks about other kids, it's brutal. Now, I look at it as, what can we do as men? Again, I invited this guy to come on the channel and not to make fun of him. And that is not why he's here. I'm playing this because it kind of spoke to me. Again, I go back to my years when I was his age, and there was nothing like this. nothing like this at all. You know, I was having fun with life. And, you know, anybody even, you know, I mean, I hung out with friends that looked like him. You know, I just, I guess I don't look at somebody and say, oh, you're ugly or you're this or that. That's just not the way I was raised. I just don't see people like that. I tend to look, even when I was younger, I tend to look at more of the person. I think we need to do that as just as people, as humans. It's real important. But I'm going to continue on here, and we'll see what else he has to say.
And he's not even ugly, Tony. He's As he grows older, he's going to be a pretty handsome guy, as far as I can tell from the video. So I'm not sure why is he thinking he's ugly and not good looking.
Well, I'll play some more stuff from him, but I want to go through this video and check this out. Let me know if it echoes. I'm muting my mic.
You know, people gravitate towards attractive people, not people that don't have good genetics like me. You know, I remember when I was in primary school, people would, yeah, even in primary school, people would criticize of my looks. Like, one of my eyes are higher than the other. It's hard to tell on camera, I think. It's this eye is higher than the other, and it looks a lot worse, like, in real life compared to video. And I have a massive nose too. You know, you might think I don't look that bad on camera, but in real life, I'm telling you, I look like shit. You know, it's fucking depressing. You see all these good-looking guys, fucking, you know, they flourish in life. You know, just because they have good looks. People like me, if you look like shit, then it's like, you know, you get nothing. You know. You know, not getting promoted at work and shit like that. Oh, I wonder why that is. Probably because the other people that do get promoted look like, you know, chads, let's be honest, or normie, at least normie level. You know, just, I don't know anymore. Like, back when I was in school, I used to be like pretty good at hockey, and, you know, did I ever get picked for the hockey team? No, I never. I wonder why that was. All the popular kids got picked for the hockey team, not because they were good at hockey, but because they were popular. Why were they popular? Because they look good. They get all the girls, you know?
There again, there's the focus on the women right there. Do you see that, Mohammed? Do you see that, chat?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, women is not the only metrics that defines us.
Well, in a lot of this community, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real.
Yeah. To some people, think it is the only metrics, and but as you're right, that's what people think and perceive. Unfortunately.
Let's look at the comments here. Alexio, he has such good comments. Hey, Pops, you're funny too. I love Pops' comments. Alexio says the ethnic pill debunked. British accent equals smart, he says. Oh, man. I'll say what's up, man. Extraordinary says, I'm going to take a stab at this form of psyche perspective. Part of this is him projecting his own self-consciousness on his peer group and the world as he understands it. Yeah. I mean, you know, one thing I always say is that I was talking with Elliot Hulse about this, that when a person or man's in pain, he's got tunnel vision. Okay. This is what he sees. He only sees this. He doesn't see what else is around him. And we know that's a fact. Okay. Anybody, you know, again, I'll say it again. We've all fallen back. We've all been in pain. We've all hurt. And if you haven't, well, maybe you need to get yourself checked, because that's part of being human. That's part of being a man. And how you deal with it is probably the most important part. Okay. But now this kid is seeing this right now. This is what he's seeing. He's not looking outside that tunnel. That's all he's seeing. Okay. Now, again, if this is satire, man, he got me good, but I don't think it is. But let's not take anybody's pain or anybody's hurt into, let's not make it trivial. Let's not make it, let's think about it. What can you do to reach out to a kid like this? It's important. Just looking at the comments here. As Varun would say, he was an evil man in a previous life. Yeah, that's funny. I believe that. I totally get that. Yeah, man. I As Varun's he's got some deep stuff he talks about, man. As Varun, if you're out there, so self-made debunked. These comments, yeah, negative factors, that's for sure. Oh man, like Pops, when you're a handsome man like me, it's not a problem. I love it, Pops. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's not satire, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's satire. It's like what he really feels and perceives. That's what it is.
My Discord
So
is just
sad.
Tony. My Discord is Tony Pill. That's all you got to look for. So, all right, let's get it back going here, man.
Tony, do you mind having a quick look at the private chat? I put in a message there, please. Thank you.
Hang on 1 second. Okay, gotcha.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's play this here. Here we go.
I used to just not go to school because I used to get bullied all the fucking time, getting put in a fucking bin by the popular kids. You know, they were trying to show off in front of all the girls and shit. Fucking assholes. If I ever see any of those guys that used to bully me from school now, oh man, I'd kill them. You best believe that.
Y'all just heard what he said, right? That was disturbing to me, man, right there.
Yeah, it is. And I think this is, I'm not saying that he actually intends to do it or is just kind of exaggerating and catastrophic, making it exaggerated. But this is probably is the way how you start your journey, or someone starts his or her journey, his journey to become a mass shooter at some level. You never know which way you will go from here. I'm not saying he's going to become one. I hope not. I don't think so. Most of us are able to retain that sanity, not to do it. But this way may well be the starting or the stepping stone for that. Who knows? It is sad. It is really sad.
Yeah, it's sad because, I mean, I think about growing up when I say, nowadays you got to be careful. You say, I'm going to kill you or something like that, man.
Yep.
You really put a mark on yourself. And if something bad does happen, people are going to say, well, he said what he was going to do. I mean, how many times growing up, Muhammad, did you get in a fight with somebody in school, and say, I'm going to kill you, that kind of thing. To me, that meant translated to you're going to beat the shit out of somebody. It doesn't mean you're going to actually kill them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we look at like these, there's a lot of copycat style shootings that have gone on, and copycat style is probably the worst. I think maybe a guy like this says, well, if I can't be remembered for just being a good person, I can be remembered for this. And that's just a bad
Yeah, that's true. I think all these mass shooters, I think again, it's not as simple as saying, oh, he didn't have dad or he didn't have this or that. It's oversimplification. Anybody who tries to sell all this mass shooters as just one single factor, they are just that's nonsense. They just don't know what they are talking about. And it's always multifactorial. And I think when these people go on these shooting rampages, it's a part of the issue is the injustice that has been done to them over in some form. And it's a deep, long-term injustice that was done to them. And this is their final statement. You did this to me all my life. Here is what I'm going to do to you to tell you how I feel towards what you've done to me. This is what they are doing. This is their response to their they're channeling their anger to give their final stand, final response to that injustice, which was lifelong for them. So to this kid, he's a subject of lifelong injustice, and nothing angers a man more than injustice. Nothing angers a man. All these things that when you see men getting upset, generally speaking, it's because we perceive an injustice. That's why we act when we see a woman being targeted by another man physically, by physical abuse, or a child being hit by another person. It's injustice, or to a dog for that matter. It's injustice. That's why we rise.
Yeah, but I don't see injustice here. I just don't. I've been trying so hard to figure out, like, how can you get to this point? Again, I've been down. Don't get me wrong. I've fallen back. I have. But I just don't understand how you can get to this point. So
Because we don't know his full story, though. Yeah.
we don't. But
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna go on through a little more and
Yeah.
listen a little more. Here we go.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I feel like I seen this guy decline his channel is, and he was saying how he feels like he's the only incel. You know, everyone else is just fake cells. You know, and I sympathize with him because that's exactly how I feel as well. You know, I don't have any friends. I don't have a girlfriend. I work at fucking KFC making fucking chicken, minimum wage. Fucking 19 years old, still living with my mum. Probably will do for the rest of my fucking life. You know? No one messages me. No one fucking bothers with me. I just rot in my room right here playing fucking PlayStation games. As you can probably see there, PS4, PS3. It's all I fucking do, you know? It's a fucking shit world we live in. It's a fucking clown world, you know? You see all these fucking... It's like, I saw on Facebook the other day, you know, this criminal, I think he was a thief or something. Someone from like my area, right? A thief. And it was on Facebook, you know, like a news article thing about him. And on the comments on the Facebook post was just women flocking towards him because why? Because he was good looking. You know, you if you're good looking, you can literally fucking do anything. You know, if you're a chad, you can be a fucking murderer, a fucking rapist. Women will still fucking like you if you're good looking. But
All right. Isn't that, if I'm correct, wouldn't the term for that when women, is that hybristophilia? Is that correct, Mohammed?
I'm not sure about the term, but they've done the studies, and women do tend to go after criminals, convicted criminals.
I mean,
I don't know the term.
I call it the Ted Bundy pill, is what I would call it.
Yeah. I'll just do the fact check on Google. Google is our friend. While you talk, I'll just check that out.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm curious what the chat thinks about this kid because, you know, again, how nice would it be to have this kid come on and give him some support? Think about it. You know, if the chat could support this dude and tell him it's not over, man. You're young. You're 19, 20 years old, bro. It's not over. It's not. I've looked at every one of these videos that this kid did, and I'll go into another one. I think he was on a dating app. I think it was Bumble. And he kind of goes over like his match that he got and what he said, and it's pretty funny, but we'll get into that. But let me continue the video here.
that's it. It's simple as that. You know, if you have a fucking sub 5 fucking face like me, you know, one eye higher than the other, terrible fucking skin, massive nose, Like, it's over. Simple. You know, fucking, I'm gonna rot in my room for the rest of my fucking life. Sometimes I don't feel like I look that bad either. But I don't know, man. It's just cooked, you know? I find it so funny. I even got banned on a fucking incel forum, incels.is. Got banned. My account got banned from there because they were calling me a volcel, I think it was. Yeah, I think that's why I got banned. Yeah, a volcel. Yeah, they called me a volcel, so they removed me from the site. Funny that, isn't it? How am I a volcel? Just... It's a cucked world. It's crazy, man. It's just so fucked up that it's just, you know, if you're good looking, you get anything, you know? Like, people gravitate towards attractive people. If you get on a bus and there's two spare seats, right? And on one seat, there's a guy, fucking overweight, subhuman face like mine, right? And on the other seat is an attractive looking person. Every single fucking person that gets on that bus will sit next to the attractive person. It's embedded in our fucking DNA, in our brains, to gravitate towards attractive looking people. It's as simple as that. That's why people like me just get left alone, you know, in my fucking room right here. Gonna fucking die alone, die a virgin, you know. And like, one person I do talk to occasionally on PlayStation with, he even made a joke saying, somehow I've managed to become a 40-year-old virgin at the age of 19.
At least he can joke a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, like, all right. Again, how do you get to this place? How do you get there? Think of what this kid is thinking right now when he's making a video like this. To put out, when you're putting something like this out to the world, what are you doing? It's a cry for help, is really what it is.
Yep. I agree, Tony. Did you say you tried to reach him, and did you get to talk to him? Did you get any response?
I commented that I told him I wanted to come on here. So
Mm-hmm. I think you should at least one person like you should try off and on, try to make contact, and maybe if he comes in or talks to you even, I think that'll be really, really helpful. See, I don't know. Yes, therapy has some role, but nothing is a substitute for a real world person who's got a genuine concern and genuine care for another person. Nothing substitutes for that. So that is not to say therapy has no role, but then it's not a substitute for real meaningful bond with someone.
yeah, Ojit, I reached out to him and hopefully I can do an interview with him. But one of the things is that, you know, a kid like this, man, needs support. And to me, this is the result of, again, I've never seen a wheat waffles video. To me, this is the result of watching too much shitty content, is what it is. That's why I said a few streams ago, like, turn this shit off. You're going to get poisoned. Let me give you a quick story about my introduction to the black pill. I'm going to say I was lucky. I was blessed to come across a group of guys who I know, all the guys that you see on here, from Woody to Caduceus to MD, a different group of guys I could relate to, guys I thought that lived the same truths that I lived. And then there's another dark side of the black pill, which to me is really ruining the message. Again, I think the black pill, or the black pill that I'm accustomed to, or the black pill that I know, is really the real original red pill. It's just about truth. Okay. So I've been lucky to come across guys that are positive and really can handle the truth and know what to do with it when you understand it. So this group of guys, again, all the guys that come on, it could be Shift, it could be JP. You know, we don't all agree. Hold the truth hostage, man. My brother, man, I love the guy. We don't agree on everything, but there's still, at the end of the day, there's solutions, and we're going to talk about solutions coming up, but there's solutions. Everybody has a different solution. I don't have to agree with your solution, okay? That's just the way it is. And some of the things that are said in different communities and friends of mine that they say I don't agree with, okay? But I don't bust their balls about it. In other words, if you think that's going to help guys, again, a big thing. You know, one of the things is we can all learn. It doesn't matter your age. It really doesn't. One of the guys I got to give a big shout out to is Caduceus. Caduceus is a young dude in medical school. And when he comes on here, I want to kind of talk about his story and what he's done to improve his life. I don't think he's talked much about it, or maybe a lot of people that watch don't know his story. And if he shares that with us tonight, I think that would be great. But again, solutions can mean different things to different people. I think the fact that we can give men and women options on what to do. To me, an option for a woman would be a woman is give her the option to say, hey, you know what? This could damage you. So maybe not do it. We can lead women, and that's what we're supposed to do as men. To me, that's important. We don't want to discount the women, okay? So leading other men and women is a good way to help yourself. And a kid like this that's in this video, by him helping somebody else, that might actually build him up. So that's what we're trying to do here, is find solutions. Let me look at the comments here. Drop a link. I will comment. Okay, cool. Right on. I'm going to drop the link here in a second, as soon as I get done playing this video. For him, it isn't over. For other guys, it really is over, man. Yeah, I hate hearing that. I get that. Comments are fast here tonight. There's Pops. That's why I love Pops. Give them to me. I'll straighten them out. Oh, that's great, man. I love these comments. Wheat Waffles. I've never seen the guy, man. I've never even watched the video. Same thing with like Fresh and Fit. I literally have only watched segments that people have like sent or put in Discord. I don't think I've watched 22 minutes of complete of Fresh and Fit. So, well, I know this is Caduceus because I haven't dropped a link yet. Let me bring him in here. What
is up, fellas? It's over for you, mate. No, I'm just kidding.
It's over. Yeah, good to have you here, man. Yeah, man, there's so many comments. I'm sorry if I'm missing here. Just looking through. Appreciate everybody commenting, man. Awesome. I'm going to drop the link here shortly. So, but yeah, great comments tonight, man. I'll look at them again. Yeah, Grover, this is disturbing. Yeah. And they're even worse, man. Some of them are even worse than this one. But Caduceus, I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to mute my mic here because I think I have an echo when I share the thing. So we'll continue.
Funny that, isn't it? It's just, you know, at work I was supposed to be promoted to a shift runner, like a supervisor, right? And then that never happened. Instead, they got this fucking Portuguese looking person to fucking come in and do that instead. And now he's left. And now they need another shift runner. Well, I'm not doing that shit now. Why do you think they got someone else to do it instead? Because they probably look better than me, you know? It's as simple as that. People gravitate towards good looking people. It's simple. You know, I I don't even know what to say anymore, to be honest. It's like, this is my first video, so it's a bit jumbled together. I don't really know what the fucking point in this video is, but it's over. It never begun. It was over from the day I was born, to be honest. Some people are gonna just look at this and think I'm trolling, but I'm not trolling. Man. I was watching a Face and LMS video, one of his streams from a few years ago, and he was reacting to this show called The Undateables, and basically there was this woman, she was like 3 foot or some shit, because she had like this bone disease thing, so brittle bones, and in the video she was saying, oh yeah, I like tall people, preferably over 6 foot. Over 6 foot? I'm 5'8". It's over,
Oh, there it is, man. There's the height police right there.
Yeah, that's tough, man. What I'm noticing though is that he's not clarifying the it in this scenario. Like, he's just saying his whole life in general is over or didn't begin. When typically when I first started hearing that phrase, it was more about the it was very specific in this case. Like, okay, that girl never liked you to begin with. Stop trying to force attraction. Stop trying to game her. It's over. Move on to the next thing. That was usually the prescription after saying it's over. Like, hey, move on to something else. But hearing this, like, it's imprecise, or he's either he's equating his whole life to not getting a promotion at work or not getting a girlfriend. That's an issue here, and maybe he, based on maybe that's all he's experienced, so it is everything to him. So it's a tough situation for him for sure.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, when we're in that helpless mode, this is what you see. You don't see anything. It's like taking a 6-inch PVC tube and looking down on it. You only see what's at the end of that tube, that gloom and doom. You don't see what's out here.
Yeah.
It also depends if you then also whether you have or you do not have the necessary tools to pull you out of such a calamity, in such a situation. Because what comes in there is, have your parents been teaching you need to work hard, that's the pathway to better yourself, you need to be diligent. And if you've not been taught that way because parents were just too busy in their own lives, or one of the parent was missing, you just don't have the tools to even know, even to be aware that this is what it takes to pull yourself and dig yourself out of that problem. So yeah, as I said, like, without knowing his personal context, it's impossible to surmise what exactly is going on. But whatever the cause behind, this is truly sad. It's really, really sad.
Well,
It's alarming also at the same time.
I mean, he's referencing, Face and LMS videos. So obviously we know where he's getting his information from. And that's why I'm saying, man, some of this information to me, again, when I came into this whole manosphere community, as far as I'm concerned, I shouldn't meet any women, from what the stats are,
Well, here's the thing. You're taking demographic data on every, which spans like what the average woman wants, what's wanted from most people, which again will work if you're like trying to like advertise to women, or you're trying to advertise in a way. But the best data that applies to you is what you get from your real life, your real world feedback, and then you can figure out whether certain aspects are over or not. That's up to you to decide from there, but at least take some good data from your personal experience instead of what some guy in England says online.
I mean, the term "it's over," that's like it. You know what it reminds me of is like the word cope. Okay, to me, when you cope with something growing up, it was a good thing. You were dealing with it. I look at the term "it's over" as kind of like the same thing. I think when we were talking earlier, Caduceus, privately, we had talked about, like, if you're, you tried to get in the NBA and you couldn't. It's over. Okay, well, you're going to move
Yeah.
on. I mean, it's real simple.
Yeah, that was the spirit of it's over to begin with, at least how I interpreted it. And I was like, okay, that part of my life's over, but I can explore somewhere else. It's a form of clarity, which was good at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, you know what? That's great. I love the way you said that. Let's think as the term "it's over" as clarity. I think that's a great positive way to look at it.
Yeah, but you got to specify what that it is.
Mm-hmm.
That it is the important word there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of people, they say statements that are imprecise. Like you'll hear it from people that talk about confidence. What are you confident in? Complete that sentence for me. Like when they say have confidence, are you confident in like your self-worth? Are you confident that you're going to get laid? Like you got to specify what it is so people know what you're talking about. When you say it's over, are you saying that, okay, that one crush that I had in high school that isn't attracted to me, that dream being over, that's one thing. But saying your whole life is over, that's unreasonable based on the data that you based on your life experience and the information that you've gathered. That's not really following Occam's razor when you come to the solution. It's non-scientific.
I think with this kid, I mean, from what I'm getting just from this short video is that it has to do with a girlfriend. I really do. I think it's the, I hate to say the validation of being with a girl, but I guess it's tough if you're younger and you see other people, dating and having a good time, and you just don't have that. I see emo looking dudes like this, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, this kid, but you see dudes like this all the time with girlfriends. I mean,
I see it for sure. Like I'm not gonna like discount his hardships, but I'm not gonna like tell him that he's not suffering in any way, that he doesn't have a real problem that needs to get fixed. But yeah, like I wouldn't say it's over. I would say that it's kind of it would be delusional to say that it's over at this point. In terms of the whole life, maybe one aspect of his life is over, or several aspects of his life are over. But what are you going to do after that is the real follow up to that question. Follow up to that answer.
I still like it's over means clarity, dude. That's like the atomic comment tonight of the night.
I mean, it originally meant clarity. Now it's just an excuse.
Yeah. Shift, welcome.
What's up, man? You hear me well?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, honestly, he's just the word "it's over." I mean, it used to be like kind of like a joke type of thing, like a meme, but now it's just like these guys they're so into the nihilism because misery loves company and stupidity simply demands it. He needs to just grow up, man. Just grow up and go outside. Look at all those videos. Look at all those tapes that he has in the background. And he has a picture of a waifu. Go outside, dude.
Yeah, that waifu's got some big titties, though.
Yeah, like, so shut the fuck up and go outside and stop making stupid YouTube videos of this. Because, look,
I want to see what video games he has, man. He's probably got some good shit on there.
Like a man, like, nobody cares. As a man, that's the harsh reality. You can't have any, like, nobody pities you. It's all about what you produce and what value you bring to this world. And him, to him, this is like a vent, and he's like, it's like therapy for him, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is okay. But then after a while, you got to look at the video. It's like, oh God, this is cringe. This is super cringe right here. This is retarded. I can't be part of this. Like,
well, yeah, and I noticed that one of his tags is neat. So like, from it sounds like he doesn't have a job. And he's not in school, and he's not
he needs
training
to go
for a job.
Yeah,
like that's a pretty rough state to be in at that point. So
where the fuck is his father?
That's some context. That's some context adding to this situation.
Where the fuck is his father though? His father should tell him, wake the fuck up. Like, go get a job, go outside. Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
when you were saying that, Shift, when you started talking, that's immediately what I thought, and I'm thinking like. Shift is saying what his dad should be saying. When I had Elliot Hulse on last year, I had talked to him about what I call a heart punch. Okay. Some guys can take a heart punch. They can take a shot. I'm the type of guy where if something was bothering me, I prefer, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer somebody like shaking me the fuck out of it. But the real reality, again, we're reality check Thursday night, is some guys can't take that. That's the way I grew up.
Yeah.
I can handle when somebody says, get your fucking shit together, asshole. You know, kind of nobody's coming to save you, motherfucker. That kind of thing. I can take that. But a lot of guys can't nowadays. You know, I was different. I was a different mold. I came from a different mold at 19, 20 years old than this kid did, without a doubt. So,
Tony, but that's a cultural thing.
Let's say if you're his dad right now, and we're gonna kind of just, I guess, think about how this kid grow. What's the word I'm looking for? But we're gonna kind of make our own decision on how this kid grew up. And if you were his dad shift, what would you say, just from a video? Seeing a video like this on YouTube and saying, that's my son, what would you say to this kid?
I would say you're disgracing me right here, and I would give the pros and cons. Like, look, you need to grow up. Let's work on this. Like, what are your interests? I would show like the pros and cons. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Let's talk about this. Did a girl hurt you? So what? She was a bitch. Whatever. Move on. Stop making these YouTube videos. This is just, it's going to lead you to a path where it's destruction. Maybe give him a little scolding, but also give him a solution. You know, like, look, you're going to come with me and do a trade. You're going to learn something. You got to go to school. Like, if you're in my house, you got to fucking wake up. You know, we're going to, like, okay, we're going to wake up at this time. We're going to do this. Or we're going to go to the gym and do that. You know, get him out of this funk. Anything to get him out of this funk. And
he's in a state here. Oh, I'll let you finish, and then I'll.
And honestly, he's been too. Honestly, I'll be embarrassed. I'll be like, oh my god, I must have coddled him too much. He needs to wake the fuck up. You know, my father. I remember a time where, in high school, I think like he took me to do hardwood floors, and we were like fasting at the time. And I remember it was like 100 degrees, and it was like an old pre-war building. We were doing floors, and we were sweating our ass off. And I told my father, I'm never going to fucking do this job ever again. Just watch. I'm going to finish college and get the fuck out of this. I don't want to do trades. And he said, okay. He told me, like, put in the work, you know, go to college and do it, you know. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. You know, I'm never going to do this again. And I feel like something in his family, right? Something went wrong here. Where's the father figure? Where's the father figure in here? And you know, it's just a
shift. You can't have a conversation at this stage. Sorry, go on, Caduceus.
You must. As a father, you got
to have a conversation at this point. But I would just say, like, based on this could be way off because, like, I don't know this guy's life. I don't know the day-to-day there. But it seems to me he's in a state that I like to call amorphous goo. Like, he doesn't know what the hell he wants to do in his life because he's young. Like, what was he, 19, 20 in this video? One of those ages, 19 or 20. Really doesn't know what he has to work for. He just knows of some things he might want. He might want to get laid. He might want to have a girlfriend. He might want the validation of that. Maybe want some cash, some money. Doesn't really know what he values in life because that takes time and work to figure that out. I didn't have this issue straight up. I had an issue with weight for a whole life pretty much, and I was in university a little bit older than this guy actually, and I would say I was in that amorphous goo state where I was just going to school, getting the grades to get the grades, and not really like working towards like what I want to do in life. Like, I knew I liked the life sciences, but I didn't know what I'd want to do for work for the rest of what kind of life I want to build for myself. I wasn't thinking about those things. I was just thinking like just on to the next day, flow through the wind, and it's a miserable life.
What made you do that, Caduceus? What were the factors? What your both parents always telling you?
Well,
you have
my parents were great. They always were saying, work hard.
That's the difference. And what I'm getting at
I
is
was in I was in a parallel state to this guy, not with the women and stuff, with
absolutely,
weight. I was in a parallel
yeah,
state and I had good
we
parenting.
all
So
are.
I'm not going to say this guy had bad
I
parenting.
mean, it
Yeah,
happens though. It happens,
but
and
No?
the key is to, if you know, in my family we always communicate. We communicate. We just say our, like, kind of like what Tony does with open panel. We just say how it is, you know, and then we have coffee afterwards.
Yeah,
and,
you could say that, but I'm just providing a counter example that where the parenting's good and I'm still like in an amorphous state.
But see, Caduceus, that's exactly my point. What Shift is saying, and what everybody's, you need to have dad needs to have a conversation. Yes, but if that system, that love and care and constant teaching has not been there all along from earlier years, if a dad has been absent, mom have been absent, they can't just rock up on his year 19 and have a conversation and fix it all
Well, no,
from
it's
like
not
just
going to
like
be
my
fixed right
bingo.
away. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
no,
And
it's not.
I've been in
It's
this
not an
place.
easy
And here's the
solution.
thing. No, here's the thing. Caduceus, just like you said, you were in a situation like this in a different domain. I was
Yeah.
also. We all go through those stages in these years. And what happened? My dad came in, like my dad was. He came in. He was a very strict father. Don't get me wrong. He never said in entire his life, "I love," that he loved me. Never ever these words came out of his mouth. Never. And he would call me and say, "Let's have a conversation." And I would listen to him. I would hate him. I would get angry for him saying what he was saying. But what made me listen to him was because he was a man whose conduct was before me. All his life he had cared for me, he had loved me, and I knew when he's saying something to me, I have to listen to him with respect. But that thing doesn't pop into existence out of nowhere. What it requires is that whenever I think about my parents, they beat me. They, in Western parlance, it would be child abuse. I don't give a damn because I remember that the love, the hugs, the cuddles, the love, the care they gave me all my life from day one, as far as I can remember, absolutely outweighs all the harshness they extended towards me for my own good. And that is what is missing. If that is missing from this kid's life, he's not going to respect or listen to his parents at all. They've never loved him. They never were there. Yours is a different case, Kadusi. You're describing your parents were great and they were always there. And I tell people the difference between this kid and me and you, Kadusi, is it's the parents the difference is the parents, and that's the difference that makes all the
I
difference.
mean,
That is what I'm saying.
But that's just one variable that makes him different, though.
Yeah,
I
like,
agree with that too, but it's a very major
It's a
a big
major
variable, man.
variable, but like
It's a major variable.
it's a major variable that could be your most likely differential if you're going to think of it that
Absolutely.
way. But
Yeah.
it's not. You can't get tunnel vision on that.
No, I agree with that. I ran from my home like 3 times, man. And in West, it's not a big deal. In my country, it's a very big deal if a child in his teens, early or late teens, runs away from. It's a very big deal. Just
yeah,
doesn't
but
happen in our society.
isn't it just a fact that weak fathers create weak men? It's just a fact.
it is.
Really, really
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
My
if through inaction, yes, through action or inaction,
My
absolutely.
dad is going to be 86, and my dad is still a strong father to me. I'm still his little boy, believe it or not.
Absolutely, and that is how it is to be. Absolutely.
My dad was not easy on me in any way, shape, or form. I do not
Yep.
hate my dad or anything like that.
It's also like the job of the parent. If you see your kid with a giant photo of an anime girl and all these cassettes, it's like, what the fuck is going on? He's living in my house and he's not working. He's not going to school. He's going on the internet, like, is showing looks all matter. Everything else, it's over. You failed as a parent. It's
Okay,
like,
but
yeah.
also think about it now. The kid's what, 19? So realistically, his parents could be what, early 40s.
It's not
Yeah.
over. I mean, he's, it's like
Yeah,
19.
he's too young to assess.
He's too
too
young.
young.
He's too
Sorry,
emotional
Tony.
right now.
Sorry, Tony. I'm just going to excuse myself for about 20 minutes. I have to pick up kids, and then I'm going to stay logged in if that's okay. If you need to push me into backstage, then please do that if you need space here. But I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
Talk
no
to you guys
problem.
soon. Bye.
Thanks, Muhammad. All right. Well, let's continue on the video, man, and see what he has to say here at the end.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Women want a tall alpha 6 foot chud. That's it. It's simple. Or like if you have a normie face and you have like if you're over 6 foot with a normie face, you're easily at least a chad light then, you know. If you have a sub 5 face like me with 5'8" and I'm skinny as fuck, look at this shit. I'm skinny as fuck. It's over. So, yeah. There's going to be more videos to come. I hope some people found this video interesting. And, yeah. Don't know when I'm going to be doing another video, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Like, comment, and subscribe.
That infection, man. It's like the doomer.
At WP Engine, we power your freedom
That ad, man.
to
It's
create
like,
online.
It's the product of the society. What's going on right now? There's so much chaos. There's a war going on, uncertainty, and this kid,
I mean,
It's
hey,
popular.
don't call him a kid. He's a man.
I mean, he's still he's 19, so he's technically, in my opinion, he's a kind.
I mean, he's not going to grow unless he gets treated like a man, though, with the respect of a man.
Yeah.
I feel
How you
like
your boyos doing? Can you hear me
What-
okay, Tony?
Yeah, man, I can. Glad
He said
to have
he's
you on,
banned
man.
banned
First
on
time. See you.
banned on
Thanks.
Tinder for being ugly. New Discord server for incels. The media is lying about incels. I mean, he's already part of a cult. The incel movement is a cult, and the cult is doomeristic. And everything, like, God forbid, if you actually try to improve yourself, like Caduceus said, they had a court. If a guy is trying to actually got laid.
It's talking about that other guy that told
Yeah.
me his story about. That guy told me his story that, like, he was shared. I think it was when Brain Cells had was on Reddit before it
Yeah.
got banned, and he said that he posted he had a post that said, "I lost my virginity, guys. I did it," and then they banned him from the server, and they held a court on Discord where, from his account, he says that he was appointed a lawyer. People in the Discord were summoned for jury. The judge used a can of Axe body spray as a gavel.
That's the funniest.
As the gavel from this guy's account. He might be bullshitting me, but I believe him based on, like, other things. And then they appointed him a defense attorney, and there was a prosecutor, and it was like a legit trial about whether to kick this guy out for losing his virginity.
They were wearing suits too, you said, right?
And they all dressed up for it too.
Yeah, it's a cult. I'm telling you right now, it's a cult, and they use everything. Like, everything is cope. If you, God forbid, if you actually try to improve your life, try to get a good job, you actually got laid or something, they say it's cope, and that straw man arguments all the time. Look, like, if you actually, that's why in the markets, right? I always said the trend is your friend and everything else is your foe. Same in life. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't, you're going to take that nihilism pill, and guess what? The next thing is you're going to be in the dirt, And this kid needs to wake the fuck up. Someone just needs to slap him in the face. Dead serious. He needs to get a fucking slap and say, shut the fuck up. You're going to get a job and fucking do something. Instead of just being on the internet, like, wanking like a bitch. Like,
From other people in the chat are saying that he did have a job. I just assumed he didn't because there was a meta tag that said neat. So he might have just been doing that for content.
Yeah, he said he worked at KFC making chicken. That's what he said.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you start somewhere,
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was that guy's age, I was working at a supermarket, and I still, I mean, first of all, when I was younger, I never even heard that term. It's over. That wasn't the thing when I was in my early 20s. So this is, like, new to me, and it certainly wasn't easy, like, all the time. However, kept busy, man. Like, this young man, was talking about how he enjoyed playing hockey, like hockey and stuff like that, and something like that. He should have stuck to that, getting out there, going after it, so he wouldn't waste his time just thinking about all the negative things in his life.
Dark is not. It's not really shaming. It's called reality. Life is not about being fair. Life has never been about fairness, man. You know, but you get what you need. And honestly, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. So wake the fuck up. Stop with this. Yeah.
I think one of the problems is, though, like we said, because there's a influx of weak men by having weak fathers. Again, you know, I've said this before, is that some guys can't take a heart punch, man. They can't take it right now. So I think every individual is different on how you have to approach them. We're not experts here. We're not Dr. Shawn Smith. We're not a PhD in psychology. So I think as regular Joes, we need to, that's why I say don't give advice, give support. Mm-hmm. Support means, hey, I'm there for you and talk. Maybe after time, you can see what somebody's going through. Okay. And then kind of help them along, kind of guide them. But, you know, leadership is important. As a man, leadership with a girl, a woman is important. It's not always a bad thing. People always look at somebody has to be leaders. Let's get real.
Like what he needs is like a good, honest conversation with a good buddy that's supportive and say, look, dude, we all been there. It's going to be okay. You know, sometimes you just need that. And honestly, also at the same time, a little scolding never hurt. You know, like, look, you need to wake up. You know, there were many times in my life, my father told me, look, stop your bitching. Fucking just do the work, you know? And sometimes you just need that, you know? Even that is that shows like that he cares, you know? Like, and that's
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chef.
No, you can go.
Can I ask Tony in the panel a question?
Sure.
Do you think it's more detrimental to grow up with no father, or to grow up with one that's a weak father?
Dude, that's a great question, man.
That's
because I didn't have my dad in my life, and I see some of my good buddies who ended up being pretty strong men, but they had some weak fathers. And so I don't know. It's like
there's too many.
What do you guys think?
I think there's just too many variables. You know, it's hard to pinpoint. But really, I'm curious to see what his friend circle is. Because if his friend circle is the incel community, the ones where some of them are just pariahs. You know, they want to see other people miserable, and everybody else miserable, and be part of this cult mindset, instead of actually just helping each other and improving themselves and saying, "Yo, bro, that's awesome what you're doing here and there." You know, I'm curious to see what his friend circle is. You know, because I completely reject people that say that's over. I'm like, go fuck yourself. You guys are the scum of the earth, and fuck the lookism, fuck the hype police bullshit. I honestly, I can't like, shut the fuck up and fucking go out there and fucking do something, you know? I'm just tired of it.
A question that I often like ask myself when looking into like some of these concerns or like harsh realities or like possibilities is that how would it affect management? Like, how does it affect the next thing I'm going to do in my life? How is it going to affect how I plan out my day? And a lot of these things, like my height, like there's nothing I can really do about it. So there's no point in focusing on it like that.
That's what
there's nothing I can really do about. I mean, I could. There are some things you could do for your face and height, but I think they're too extreme, and the risks outweigh the rewards, in my personal opinion. But again, that's for the individual to decide on their own. I think there's better areas to focus your time, energy, and
and also if it's like too much, and he's really like he really needs to get psychological help, and there's only so much you can do. And like I think what was his name, that psychologist, what was his name again?
Shawn T. Smith.
He said that these type of guys, when they get that depressed, they won't even seek him out to get help. I think the first sign, he needs to realize he needs help.
Well, yeah, you can't help someone that doesn't think they're damaged. You can't help someone that way.
Yeah, but I mean, let's get real. The hardest thing for anybody to do is ask for help.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's the ego.
Difficult.
That's
It's ego, but it's also, I think it's ego, but people think nobody really wants to show weakness. It's difficult to show that you have an issue. You know, the hardest thing another man can do is ask another man for help.
Well, yeah. And like if you see a pattern in someone's behavior that's self-sabotaging, like really harmful to themselves or the people around them, like and they don't think that they don't think they have a problem. I think the common question you ask is like, all right, you don't think you have a problem right now, you think you have it all under control, you're good. When would it become a problem? Like ask them in like their terms so they can visualize it. So if they see that happen in their life, they're like, shit, I said 2 weeks ago that I would have a problem if I got to this point. Because often like they'll like even let's say drug addicts, for example, you'll have people that snort heroin and they'll be like, oh, well, at least I don't shoot heroin into my arm, even though it's the same drug. You'll have those types of people. So it's that, so people don't really, they'll either make excuses for like why they're not in a bad spot, why they're in control, or they just don't see an issue. Like let's say you have someone who has a few beers every day and they've had multiple DUIs, and they're an alcoholic, but they don't think they are. They say, oh, when would it be a problem? They're like, okay, if I didn't get to see my kids for a bit or something like that, that reason. So like there needs to be like, they need to have like a hard metric to realize, they need a baseline to figure out like when things are getting worse so that they can see for themselves that they're devolving.
They need a fucking journal. They need to write down their extreme emotions and realize the pattern. And also why he's not seeking solutions. Why? You're 19 years old. You got the whole world ahead of you. And joining these echo chambers where it's over, doomerism, lookism, like measuring the angle of the face, dude, you're going down a slippery slope, very slippery slope. A lot of on the internet, there's a lot of charlatans that prey on guys with weak emotions and weak selves and stuff like that, and because they don't have a plan, they don't have a compass, they don't know what the fuck they're looking at. It's like they gotta answer those hard questions after a while, and say, what the fuck do I really want? What the fuck do I want? It's not about what women want. What do I want? Right?
Well, I'm gonna put this out there for everybody watching, for guys on the panel. Man, let's reach out to this guy. Let's get him on. Let's get him on Caduceus' stream, my stream. Mm-hmm. Let's get him on with Blaxican. Let's get him on with Shift. Let's fucking do that, man. A kid like this could learn a lot by talking with men. Again, to me, I really got to say it's he might not have a father. Let's see, he could be being raised by his mom. We don't know that. So maybe a group of guys like us could really do something good for this kid. Base Body TV, man, he has a great question here, man. I love this question. What are your thoughts on clinical versus situational depression? You think this kid is experiencing any of these symptoms for either? I'm going to give you a case today of situational depression. This is what's happened to me today. I went and did an estimate for this lady, and literally by the time I left and got to Lowe's, I had to sit there in the parking lot. This lady made me so depressed within like everything was, it was like the doomer lady from hell. Everything was so bad. I could see how literally, I'll say probably 25 minutes I was there, and I'm like, I just got to get out of here. I have to go. The whole thing was like, well, not telling me about the issues with the door or the roof leak. It was all the stuff before and after that was just brutal. Well, my kids were here. They left all their stuff. I'm on a fixed income and I just don't know what to do. Everybody takes advantage of me. It was so brutal that I just had to get the fuck out of there. And I literally felt like the life energy being sucked out of my body. And to me, that is situational depression right there. I was literally having the life force sucked out of my body by this old lady who just lived in fucking misery. I have compassion for her. Don't get me wrong, but I totally see how situational depression. So imagine if like this kid's mom or his dad was like this lady that I did an estimate. I didn't do an estimate. I looked at the job because I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm working here. Because after, I could imagine working there for, 2 hours. I'll be looking for the rope in my truck, literally. It was that fucking bad.
That sounds like you were just irritable,
I was irritable, but I had some compassion for this lady, but I literally had to get the fuck out of there. I'm like, I am so gone. I can't be around this shit.
Like base bodybuilding, I don't think we can go down that road because that's giving medical advice, and we're not giving medical advice, but we're just stating that we don't really know what's inside internally, but you could just see through his body language like he needs to talk to someone, for sure. He needs to talk to someone. And or maybe he's just doing this for clout. We don't really know what's behind his problems, but I just reject this whole notion of the doomer stuff, the lookism stuff, the echo chamber bullshit. I'm like, they need to go out there and do something. If you're 19 years old and you still have a room with anime waifu on the background, you have too much time on your hand. You need to fucking go out there.
Yeah, well, if he's saying that it's over, like maybe it hasn't even started for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can something be over if your life hasn't even started yet? And if he has a mom that's like as they say in the chat, like a contractor Karen, like Tony was describing, a vampire that Tony was describing he was encountered. Like if you have women like that around you, man, your life hasn't even started, bro. So it's like, yeah, we need to talk to this kid if he wants to. Only help those who want to be helped, though.
Yeah, it's a dangerous slope because of Plato's allegory of the cave. If you lend out help, he might just scold you to death. Yeah, that's the problem.
My first bit of I don't even want to call it advice, but a suggestion to him would be to delete that video because guaranteed a kid like that, how many times do you think he's watched that video of himself? Probably a lot.
Yeah.
And, those 6 videos he has on his channel.
Especially if he's getting clout now from it.
Yeah, that's what sucks. That he's getting a kick out of it. Like,
yeah.
Which is why you got to ask him the question if he doesn't think the channel's an issue. Like, okay, when would it become an issue? What type of content would you not like to see on there at that point? Like, because then he'll realize, holy shit, this is what I said I didn't want to become, and I'm there.
Yeah. That's why I asked, well, what's his social circle? Who are his influence? It's probably the echo chambers. Yeah. And
right now it seems to be that's what it is. And if again, the channel is called Sub 5. Just look at that and go through his videos. I listened to every one at work, and it was literally I had one person there as a workmate said, like, is this like for real? I'm like, yeah, it is. I think it is. It's not satire. I mean,
Yeah. A lot of these guys need professional help. There's only so much we could do, but he really needs to see a professional. Like for sure.
If you look through the comments though, like on his channel, there are a lot of positive comments in there, but there's also a lot of dudes that are in the same situation he is.
Oh yeah,
you can.
So they're enablers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, they might be like, but the people that are there that might be considered enablers, they might just be in the exact same type of situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the back when I was 19. Like it was kind of rough for me also. I got rejected by girls constantly. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to finish college, all this other stuff. I went to the gym. That really helped out a lot, build discipline and patience. And honestly, the struggle gave me strength, and I just kept going. Like, I moved forward, think positive. Yeah. Failure is not an option. Even if even the Michael Jordan quote, I failed many, many times, and that's why I'm successful. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, but we just need to resist that urge to correct the guy. And he's got to do it on its own. But we can help him out. Like, say, hey, what are some things you like to do?
Yeah.
okay, like when would this like mindset, when would this channel, this sort of content, when would it get you, when would it like prevent you from doing, if like, would it be an issue like if this content, like this community took you away from doing those things that you love? Like let's say maybe this guy likes to go hiking a bunch, and then he just
maybe
gets into
yeah.
severe depression where he doesn't even want to do that anymore.
Maybe-
And
maybe
maybe
he has
like
a
maybe like
talent.
have that metric so he can know like to because like a lot of people, they don't realize that when they're drifting away. But if you set that pole that you can see in the distance, he's like, oh shit, I was there and now I'm here.
Yeah.
I need to
Like-
get back there.
Like
point.
for example, you know, there's guys that we know, like for example, As Varun. He knows so much about astrology and tarot cards. I'm like, dude, make a channel. I would love to learn more. I'll even pay a reading from you, but he doesn't want to do it. You know, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you know, some of these guys are very talented. You know, they're intellectuals, right? They draw. They go so deep into certain things that I find like, why? You can go deeper into like philosophy or like maybe trading the markets or something like that. Anything. Get out of this like echo chamber bullshit. Like, come on.
Yeah, the echo chamber is what bothers me. You know, that's why I like when people come on here and you can disagree with me. You know, I'm not that opinionated. I'll say that. I am going to drop a few opinions tonight, though, for sure on my.
How dare you?
Yeah,
I mean-
no, I'm going to. I have a couple terms I'm going to use. One is spurgatory, and you know, I came up with the term hypergatory, where guys are trapped in the hypergamy loop. Everything's hypergamy. So we have hypergatory, and now we got spurgatory, where guys just spurg out constantly, where you're stuck in that complaining mode. You know, spurgatory is a new one for tonight. So.
Spurgatory.
That's a pandemic right there, man.
Banished to the
like,
gulag. Of
dude, I'm
Spur.
expecting like the final boss, like the kind of like the one that rules over Spurgatory is Spurgator.
Well, there you go. Hold the truth hostage. There's another video game. We can call the video game Spurgatory, where everybody just spurgs out on each other.
What are the attributes of that final boss then?
Okay, what? Sorry.
The attributes,
boss.
its characteristics.
Oh, it's got keen focus. So like if it hits you, it like one hits you. It's got keen focus, and like it hits like a combo on you. So you better not get hit once. Like
How I beat it?
Oh, you just gotta be you gotta be very careful. You gotta do the jump puzzle. You gotta you gotta find the weak. You gotta find the weak point.
What
yeah,
truth? Practicality?
Woody Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Adventures of Spurgator.
I think I've got to say hi to a few people real quick because I've got some new clips. Let me just go for it. Boom.
Salve, David Little. Salve, Uncle Guns. Salve, Woody Johnson.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
we have here.
Tony Bruno, I've been banned on Tinder for 2 years. Did you try to circumvent the ban in any way?
Oh.
Did you try, Tony?
I did. It doesn't work.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, they ban your like total. I don't know. They do it.
yeah, I think it has to do with your IP address and
Yeah.
all your phone numbers.
At least you did get your channel banned like the great LM.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that's brutal. But
Yeah.
one more.
He lives on through the intros.
Yeah, he does. And I don't know what this last one is right here. Let me see.
Oh God, block your eyes.
I
Could be
uploaded it. I don't
anything.
know. It's a Lux Maximus. Let's just see what he has to say.
Good to have you on board, boyos.
Yeah. No,
He seems more positive than he's
So
like
jolly.
mellowed out. He's very
So jolly,
mellowed.
man.
Before he was like Woody Johnson. He was just so into
Oh
it.
no, but he's like laughing at the Woody Johnson as he's saying it. He's like, Woody Johnson. Woody
Yeah.
Johnson.
Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
Yeah, those are the originals right here. Here we go.
Yeah, those are
Woody
the originals.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Tony Bruno. The white, the black, the yellow and brown. Walk right in, lay your money down, and fuck the night away. Alrighty, boys. Alrighty.
Yeah,
he's definitely
Let's
chuckling.
pour one out for our homie Lux Maximus on YouTube.
There you go.
Rip.
Pour out some tap water with lemon in it.
That's it.
Pour out some old English.
I mean, you got to admit, he was so based midstream. This nuked.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's that damn Gimpina.
Yeah, Gimpina. Yeah, if anybody hasn't watched Lux Maximus, he's on Odyssey. Just look up Lux Maximus. And to me, I'd love to have him on. Man, it might get my channel nuked, but I think he would keep it. I think he would keep it kind of PC, a little bit as PC as he could.
Yeah, and if you want to talk to him, you can just hit up his Telegram group on it's Androcentric. It's called on Telegram. He's always chopping it up in there.
Yeah, he knows. He commented that when he's ready to do a collab, he's going to reach out to me. So me and Caduceus hit him up pretty hard one time in the chat. So.
Oh, which guy? My bad.
What's that?
Which guy are we talking about?
Michael Foster.
LM. Yeah, we were trying to get him on a show.
Yeah.
And he's like, when I consider doing interviews, maybe. And then I see Woody vouching for us. He's always saying, "Would you ever do an interview?" in the chat.
Oh man, you're gonna explode if that happens.
Father Michael Foster is in the
Foster.
chat.
His bat might show up too. So
yeah, I'm gonna drop the link here real quick right now. So anybody wants to join in, feel free. We're gonna continue on the. See here, there it is.
Hey, you just opened the gates to Spurgatory.
I did. The Spurgatory is opened right now.
The Spurgatory's here.
I'm gonna
fetch me their souls.
I'm gonna replace Uncle Gun's pinned message. Uncle Gun's always has the best intros, man. I pin him.
He gives me some good pinned messages too.
Yeah. Uncle Guns, you're appreciated. But yeah, anybody wants to join in? Oh, we got somebody already. Let me see who it is.
Like and subscribe to Tony.
Shield.
Nixon, yeah, no, I'm going to shield up. We got Michael Foster. Okay, I'm still going to shield up here just because everybody's good at faking everything right now, man. Let me find my new shield.
Welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hang on here. Boom. There we go. Michael Foster, is that you?
It is. It's going to be dark in my car.
That's all right. Nixon, is that you?
No.
It's okay. Okay, Kangaroo Jack. We know it's you.
Good try.
Hey, man, leave the kangaroos alone, bro. What do you got against kangaroos, man? Leave us alone.
No, I got nothing against kangaroos. I just got something against you.
And one more, and I believe this is a friend of Muhammad's. It says your device isn't connected, Lost Fathers. So as soon as I see that device connected, I'll bring you on.
Yeah, I see how it is, Todros.
Yeah. Hey, that was a pretty sick name. Like when we looked that up.
MBWO.
I'm just at lunch break at work, gents. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm actually enjoying this conversation. This is the sort of stuff that we all need to be listening to. Enough of this. It's over for you. You're under 7 foot, so there's no point in living life, etc., etc. Like, man, screw that noise. Man, this is why I like Tony's streams, because he gets into some nitty gritty stuff, and everyone else joins in, like Vital and Shift and a whole bunch of others as well, Muhammad and the like. So I just want to say I'm very much enjoying it. And yes, it's not over for you fellas. Take it from me, the 5'5", down under. It's I ain't the tallest person in the world, but what I can change, and what I have changed has been nothing but great in terms of success for me. So do what you do, man.
You got Vlad the Impaler genes in you. It's like you can't fail, bro. You can't.
I'm a descendant of the great Alexander, just to start.
Alexander the Great. Yeah, exactly. We're Balkan.
Nixon, that's a real positive message, bro. That is, and that's what I like to hear. I really do. Again, tonight's about solutions, man, and you know, to me, a solution is somebody telling their story. You know, no matter what it is about success in their life or what they've gone through. Somebody banned the bot that just jumped in. I think.
In that case, I'll give you a quick rundown. Then I got a jet because we got pizza on Friday, so I'm keen to get into that. But if,
you're at Planet Fitness. Oh, okay.
100%. Yeah, every gym here has been built next door to some takeaway store for some stupid reason. But anyways, real quick, my father passed when I was 12 years old. Right? He was 36. I'm 33, going 34. Just you get a bit of like where we're at in life right now. Pancreatic cancer, very very rare for his age. But he smoked and he drank on occasion. Right? I very rarely drink and I don't smoke. So I've changed, well, not changed rather, I've avoided doing those sorts of things, right? And at the same time, I've also been fortunate to have uncles and grandparents who were there for me when I needed something when it comes to the quote unquote, manly aspect of adolescent life. And because I've done a lot of shit on my own over the years, and when I mean on my own, I've wanted to set my mind to something, to achieve something, which is what I've done. That I was a skinny kid, 5'5". I packed on the pounds, the kilos, whatever metric we want to use, and I was 110 pounds, and now I'm somewhere around about 160 pounds over like 10 years. So I've increased my size.
My cultivating mass.
100%. My skill set when it comes to music and DJing, I've honed in on it, and people notice these things. They see you when you put the work in and if I was of the same thought as this kid is now back then, who the hell knows where I would have ended up right now. I mean, I could have still been that skinny kid, depressed out of life, playing video games, not doing anything with my life. But here I am now, gym, YouTube, podcasting, DJing, career in audio, all sorts of shit that I'm doing now. And it's because you put your mind to it and because you actually put the work in, and now you've achieved something. So when people say, oh, it's all over because you're only a certain height, or nah, there's no chance, there's no point in you going to the gym, that's the dumbest bit of advice you can give people. As the dumbest bit of advice. Go in there, do the work, reap the benefits.
Awesome, dude. I love that. That's inspirational, man. And to me, that's what we need right now. Again, tonight's about solutions, bro. And you just gave everybody your life experience, man. And that's going to help. That's going to help guys who are watching this now. Somebody who maybe this kid is watching. I don't know. Maybe he'll watch it tomorrow.
I like that.
Give the dude respect. He's a man now.
Yeah,
he's a man. Yeah. He's a man.
I like that.
But yeah, that's
muscle mass, but you're actually learning real, like you're becoming competent in skill areas too. I love that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
I'm music. That's great.
I'm 33, man. I've been involved in music since I was 16, 17 years old. Production, in audio production, in music, in DJing, all sorts of things like that. And I have people asking me now for advice, which I used to be that person, which is wild because in my head, I'm still the same person looking up to the people I was looking up to 10, 15 years ago. But there's a shift in there when you become the person that other people look up to. And that's because you've done the work, you've achieved something, and now they're looking at you saying like, this guy's onto something. He knows what I want to be. I want to ask him for advice. I want to see what he did. And I tell people all the time, man, you're not going to put on muscle sitting at home. You got to go hit the gym. Yes, weights are heavy. Yes, it's a strenuous task, but the rewards outweigh the struggles at the end of the day. You just got to keep at it, for example, man. And I'll just leave it there, man, because yeah, like I said, I want my pizza, man. I'm hungry, so I'll keep listening.
Have fun, my friend.
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's some just great wisdom for people watching and people watching in the future, man. That it's not over, and that's what it's about tonight. It's not over. It's just not.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you too, man.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to bring on base bodybuilding. I am going to pop up a screen here just to make sure. Is that you, my man?
No PP.
Hey, Tony. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. All right, good. You know how it is here.
Oh yeah, of course. The shield.
Yeah.
Got to bring the shield up. Yeah.
I got Grover coming on. Let me. We got the Lost Fathers. We got a few people. Let me just bring some people on here real quick. I got to shield up.
What's going on?
Grover, that's you. Okay, good. And then the Lost Fathers. That is, I believe, a friend of Muhammad's. Correct?
Correct. Can you
Yes,
actually hear
that's
me?
good. Yep,
right.
fantastic.
Good. Let me turn this fan off just to be safe. Good. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. This is actually a brand new system that I built about a week ago, and I just plugged in a USB cam. For some reason, not picking it up. So yeah, I was just having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
All right, no problem. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Man. Yeah, I
good
want
to
to
be
go to. I want to go to Mike. I'm going to go in the order that everybody came in. Michael Foster, did you see the video that I played earlier, or no? Listen to it. About the It's Over Kid, sub 5. Okay. Yeah,
I did not.
That's all right. It's
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
I kind of broke down the video. It's about a 10-minute video, and it's a. I'm not going to call him a kid, Caduceus. I like that. It's a young man who definitely is having some issues with his looks, with everything that you could imagine. Not having a girlfriend. It's just total doom and gloom.
Yeah.
He's part of the incel community, it sounds like. And I mean, would you guys agree, everybody on the panel, that he's kind of being validated by his community?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, they're enabling him.
It's like crabs in a bucket.
He's probably getting status out of the video. Like said, oh, like I've seen it in some of these forums where like, no, it's over for me more than you. I have all these issues. Plus, I'm this race.
And I'm going to date myself. He's basically using the Alan Alda method of getting the wrong kind of attention. And basically, I'm just going to see how many people actually know who the hell I'm talking about. Probably.
Yeah,
most.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Mash, my man.
Hell yeah, thank you. But yeah, I feel for the kid actually. I mean, I'm a dad of 3 kids. I mean, I have a middle, 2 daughters and a middle son. And they're all millennials. Because I'm 55, and created my own MGTOW channel once I got the red pill and all that kind of good shit. So I've been through all of that. But also one thing I've noticed is the youth of today, particularly like this kid was a Generation Z. One of the things that they're fighting against, never mind the horrible zeitgeist of the now, which you guys have covered somewhat, a little bit, just the kind of general atmosphere of today's feminized world is really doing a number on kids like this. I feel for him. I do. And by the way, some of the tough love aspects of what you guys were talking about, I fully support. Because sometimes, well, look how it seems like this stuff is pretty deep in him. Would everybody agree with that? I mean, it's like, what's it going to take to get him out of this? I mean, yeah, the whole, slap him upside the head, get a job and all that. But, we're talking long game here. So.
I really think from watching the video,
I
really think that I think this young man definitely needs to find a passion in life, because passion brings discipline. And once you have this kind of passion, you develop the discipline, and that will give you the confidence. That's just how I see it. So I agree with what Schiff said earlier.
There's a comment here. I've seen this too. He needs to get laid, man. I don't think that's his issue. I don't think getting laid is going to do anything for him.
I'd actually venture to say it could probably, if he, let's say they did get laid just, off the cuff, but nothing meaningful, I think it could actually exacerbate the problem moving forward, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I'm going to get into some different parts of that. So let's go to Grover. Grover, welcome.
Hi, I actually found that video and I sent it to Self-Made because.
Oh, okay.
I had some experience before mentoring some young men, but never that far along the path. But that's probably like my biggest fear of some of the folks that I mentored. And when I say mentoring, I mean like through martial arts, it's hard to explain, but a lot of times I get parents paying me for private martial arts lesson, but they don't really want me to teach their kids martial arts. They want their kids to be around someone masculine. And someone who's like trustworthy, but also kind of lived around a little. So, I think 3 things are apparent when we look at this person. Number one, I mean, and I could be wrong, but if there's a male present in the life, it's not a strong male. It's not someone who's gonna like help you along. Like I'm very fortunate. I have very good role models around me. Number two, he's built up things in his mind that are more important than they are. So I really agree with you folks saying that if he gets laid, that may be bad, because what if he gets laid and it's not all the end all be all that he's built it up to be? Then you have a really big issue with this individual. I think the third thing is that it's obvious that he's just not out in public a lot. Just looking at him, look how pale, how gaunt he was. And he's in an echo chamber where everybody in the chat, everybody who replied to it, that was the scariest thing, was the comments. There was not one comment like positive. It was just like, nah, yeah, it's true. Look how you look. And,
well, it's misery seeks company, quite literally, is what you're looking at there. Yeah.
So I understand.
Well, if we take a look at you see it common with the SJW type crowd, you do see a form of like victim Olympics.
Yeah.
Where like you hear like, oh, I have it worse because I'm black and I'm gay. That's what they'll say, stuff like that.
This is a form
that kind of thing. It's the same idea, except it's oh, I've got a recessed chin and I have prey eyes. They'll say that instead.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this whole thing, like how you look, and it's very new to me. I'm not gonna act like I understand it. I'm not gonna, and you know, like one of the advantages of getting older is that you don't have to deal with a lot of stuff that the youngsters had to deal with, and I'm sure it's harder than it was for me than it was for the youngsters. So I don't want to take anything away from it. I think that, you know, this is the biggest thing that I've ever seen help folks. And like I said, I've never had nobody this far along, but I've had people who like will literally tell me I have no luck with people. You're like the only person who even spends time to talk to me. And like guys won't even look me in the eyes. And the biggest thing is that they need a challenge in life that they're not allowed to quit. That they're not allowed to say it's not good and I can't. They need to conquer something, because I heard this a lot. Success brings confidence, but it just can't be easy. It can't be easy. What's so easy? Look, it's easy to make a YouTube video. I'm telling you. I started doing it 3 years ago and I totally sucked at it. It's easy. It's easy to watch videos. It's easy to get on Tinder. It's easy to get rejected on Tinder. All of these things that are easy.
Or get banned on Tinder.
Yeah. Well, I never went that far. Jesus.
I want to throw something out there if you don't mind, and I'll keep it short because I'd love to hear from the rest of you guys too. And by the way, Tony, I just want to say thank you. I'm glad Muhammad actually introduced me to your channel. This is the first time I've actually done this, because I've been involved in the manosphere since, a long time, but actually making my own videos about 2017. So one thing I'm going to point out is that what's kind of, for me, in my experience in this moment we're all having together, when I watched the video that you were showing, Tony, I got to tell you, man, it really blew me away, because I have a gentleman. He's actually, so I'm an IT. I'll give you a little brief history of me. I'm an IT guy. I've been doing it for 30 years, and you know, I've been a gamer as well. Okay, but not the kind, you know, but this is while I've lived in other countries. You know, I'm from the U.S., and so of course I'm back here now, and so I've seen a bit of the world, and so I've known this guy. He's in Norway. He was living in Stavanger, and he's near my age, and I'm, you know, so I'm 55. Basically says almost exactly the same thing as this kid. So what I'm trying to say is this is a cautionary tale. And what I feel, and by the way, I appreciate what you're trying to say, Tony, about the fact that, you know, compassion and all that. I agree with that. These kids definitely need that. But can you imagine being my age and feeling exactly, he's the same sort of body dysmorphia that this kid has. You know, oh, I'm ugly, and you know, the world hates me. All my peers can't. You know, I'm the butt of their jokes. They make fun of me to impress the girls. It's tragic, and there's a lot of key points. But I mean, so imagine living your whole life like that. So that's what this. So either he turns this shit around, and I think reaching out to him is a good idea, by the way, because it's pretty serious, the state of affairs with boys nowadays, particularly around his age. And I see it day in and day out. How about you guys? I mean,
well, there's something you had said earlier about compassion. I say that too, but one of the things that my buddy Ivan Throne has kind of really taught me I'll say, since I met him, and he said this years ago when I met him, is that he doesn't do pity. Because think about it, who wants to be pitied? No one.
No.
That's like an insult to pity somebody. Compassion and empathy are different than pity.
Well, another component of pity is that there's an implication that if you were in their situation, you'd do better, which is bad, which is something you don't know.
Yeah. Grover, I do want to say you are a fellow judoka. I found that out recently. So
I've been doing martial arts since I was 8, and judo was actually free. It was a community service program, so I was, my mom really appreciated it, and so did my dad. Something that they didn't have to pay for that can get me out the house and stop breaking stuff around the house.
Where are you
one
from,
of the roughest sports ever. People have no idea until you try.
Yeah. It's so. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay. I used to live not too far from there. I was in the East Bay. Not anymore. I lived in Vallejo for about 13 years. So yeah.
The Vallejo is about 45 minutes away, depending on traffic.
Yeah, cool.
Well, let's go to Michael Foster. Michael Foster, welcome, of course. And I see Woody Johnson's on the panel, but we're going to go to Michael Foster first. Basically, you've kind of heard the rundown in this video. He's kind of a doomer, this young man. I'm not going to call him a kid anymore, but as a pastor, as a father, how do you handle a kid like that?
I mean, some of the basic advice you guys were giving is a good starting place. So I'm a Christian, so our life isn't just this life. It's the afterlife. So we have a vision that's bigger than the just here and now. And part of the problem, so let's say you disagree with me on that. Part of the problem that I think we can agree on is the very narrow area of validation that these guys seek. Basically, if I get a woman and I have sex, then I'm winning in some way, right? And there's so much more to being a man than all that. So there's things like, I think building a business, all that stuff can be as satisfying or as consuming nonetheless. And it's part of the whole package. I would want those guys to get married if they could. And I walk around, I see these couples, they seem kind of happy to me. And they both are, none of them are going to be underwear models anytime soon. You know what I mean? And so I think there's a lot of these guys could actually be really happy, but they got a lot of folks that profit off their misery. They're watching pornography that makes them think that makes them desire to get things that are outside of their reach. And then they listen to these guys that kind of the aspects of the manosphere do this weird thing where they say with game you can get anyone, right? But then the same people that say stuff like that also feed a narcissism and a cynicism, like a sort of doomer, well, it's a bad time, not everyone can have what I have, right? So they talk out both sides of their mouth where, with game you can get the hottest chicks ever, but it's a bad time and no one can be like me. You hear a lot of that. So I think what I'd want to do with a guy like that is like, look, let's focus on just getting in shape. Let's focus on developing your vocation. What are you passionate about? Let's focus on brotherhood right now and let's build from there. A lot of these guys are alone in their relationships. This guy, I didn't watch the video, but if he's talking about his buddies, I mean, I don't know if they're his real buddies or not. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys are very isolated and get them into a brotherhood of guys. You know how guys are. We all bust each other's balls, but
absolutely.
But it's like women compliment each other and don't mean it. Guys insult each other and don't mean it. We don't mean it. It's like it's part of the game. Like there's guys that we'll be ripping them apart, but you mess with them, I got his back. I care about him. If I haven't seen him, I'm gonna call him. I was that way before I was a Christian. You stay tight to your friends and you keep an eye on them. And we might be tearing into each other, but there's lines that we don't cross, right? This is a sort of bro code of sorts. So I think young men like him need a brotherhood, and they need someone that's helping them develop kind of a deeper passion in life for vocation to be excellent at something. You know, Tony, you're very talented in the trade that you're in. I know you care about the way the nails are driven and the way things are lined up and all that stuff. Like teaching young men to take passion in that stuff and be the best at what they're doing. That opens the door to the confidence that will help them get a woman that they love and respects them. It'll open the door. I don't work in the worlds of guarantees. I don't have Gumroad classes. You know what I mean? That's not what I preach. But there's a lot of young guys like this out there. They're very hopeless. Someone, the guy, the pizza loving New Zealander, or Australia.
Yeah.
He was talking about how short he was. I remember this one Asian guy that called me. He was like, "I'm Asian and I'm 5'6". What am I gonna do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, be good at your job, be charismatic, just work, give yourself to everything." He's doing fine. But you hear these folks that are like, the main factor that women decide is height, and it is a major factor with women. But it's one of many issues, right? And I think someone just needs to have a sober sit down with these kids, and they need to see that the person across from them doesn't want anything from them and actually cares about them. That's the problem. There are men that don't have fathers or father-like people who love them and friends that love them and are willing to tell them hard things, but not out of some sort of amogging tough guy nonsense. You know what I mean? More just like, hey, bro, you're kind of being a pansy. You know, you're making all these excuses. You can't. Let's say you can't control that, but you can control this. Why don't we work on that? I mean, that would free a lot of these guys from a lot of their misery. And I don't know where it would end up in terms of the world of marriage or whatever, or women, but they would be in a better place. And I think that's a good place to start. I mean, they need Jesus, right? All y'all, but talking from a practical standpoint, I think they need brotherhood and fathers right now, deeply.
Well, of course, I got to play the show the. We've got some. We've always got some comments, and you know, I'm not afraid of conflict here, and neither is Michael. So,
come on, AJ, come on, man. Let me finish eating. You can tell me all your stupid red pill stuff that I knew before you did. I could rip you in half like toilet paper.
Yeah, Michael. We need Michael Foster's bat in the chat, man. I don't see him in here.
Honestly, if I were to say something about that, Michael, I mean, I grew up I'm American. You sound like you are too, and you know, certainly grew up with religion in my life, and I've had quite an interesting. I was actually quite spiritually minded when I was this kid's age. I was literally reading everything from the Al Quran, nod to you, Muhammad, and to, of course, our own Bible, and then everything in between, including, you know, witchcraft. I mean, that was deep diving into mysticism. Okay, and so all that said, now fast forward to now, and one of the things that I see, and I think you'll appreciate this as a pastor, and I've been friends with good pastors. I worked for a Christian outreach program in Vallejo when I was talking with, I'm sorry, I can't see his name at the moment, but yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that right now, while I love science, I'm an IT guy. I love computer science. I love the sciences in general. Have a deep love of that. It's what kind of keeps me going, keeps me amazed at life. But what I find is that the way that I even look at those things from the empirical scientific method is also how the spiritual connection to life. Okay, and I'm not going to get woo woo, guys, I promise. But I will say this: our society's kind of leaned a little bit too far in the secular, which is why you have some of this crazy shit coming out, the far leftism and all of that. You know, this sudden new obsession with different versions of Marxism, blah blah blah. We all know it, but this disconnect from the magnificence of living and the spirituality of life. How would you respond to that?
Well, that was a really long. It was a lot to take in.
Sorry, I have Asperger's. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's
Purgatory.
purgatory. Yeah, it's purgatory tonight, so that's all right. My new term.
So I guess what I would say is that everyone's spiritual, everyone's religious. If you listen to people and you look at the way they treat their life, it's not whether but which where people are going to fall. And I know my science pretty well, and I think guys I see a spiritual awakening in the manosphere. It's not all good, but it's people are like, there's more than just mere material. The thing is, if we take the heavy evolutionary by biological perspective that's really common in the manosphere, you're going to have to come up with an answer for morality and for purpose, and it's not exactly simple. It's not easy. I don't see very much of it in the manosphere. I don't think people have really thought through their worldview commitments and through their philosophical religious commitments. They just presuppose them and spout out stuff about evolution as if it's like personified, like it's like an intelligence that creates things on purpose or whatever. But what's interesting to me when people talk about evolution and morality, like I don't know exactly how you land at morality in that sort of mindset. And I think folks realize there's a sort of internal incoherence, and that's leading them to ask big questions. They're not all landing in the same place, but there's very much a spiritual conversation going on. And as a Christian, I'm happy to be a Christian voice in there. I try to come on, Tony's here. I don't have a problem with arguing with people, but my job here is to be a voice, to participate, to represent well and listen to other people. You know what I mean? But
exactly, and that's what everybody on this panel is doing, is representing. You know, I'm gonna say something here that I never thought, and I thought it was really awesome that when I came down Sunday morning, 21 convention, and Michael Foster probably had about 30 guys in a church service on Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it was wild. Something I never thought I would see. So it tells you that guys are thirsty for, for Christianity, for being spiritual. I don't like that word spiritual. I just think that's kind of a new age.
It is. It's a wish. It's a woo woo.
Yeah,
wishy washy, mamby pamby. But yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, let's put it this way. For a guy that's trying to find his spiritual side and to sit in a church service with Michael Foster, that's a good direction as far as I'm concerned. So,
I don't know if that was a good answer to your question. I was just trying my best to respond. I hope that helps.
No, that's great. So
Tony, even the quest.
I haven't heard from Woody Johnson yet, so we gotta say hi to Woody.
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
It's me, Tony. It's me.
Woody Johnson.
I'm just
Woody
taking it
Johnson.
Oh man,
Thank you, boys.
On every stream, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, it's always a great day to be amongst good men. And I don't agree with everything with Michael Foster, but if I was there, I would probably join the morning prayers, just for the experience, for the holy experience. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Even though I'm I'm in the middle, I'm agnostic. I think that's what they call it. But still, it's an experience like everything else.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I appreciate you saying
It's
that.
more than that. It's more than that, Woody. See, when you go to a church, so let's flip this title away and substitute the church with, it's a place of worship where you go to seek meaning in life. I go to churches. It might be a shock to some of you, if not all of you, or some other people. I go to churches, I sit, I listen to the service, and it feels good. It's a place of worship. I find connection with God in there. And it might be elusive what I'm saying to some of you, but many of you will actually understand it. Just the mere quest and to embark on a journey to go to a church to see what is in there. What is it that Michael Foster talks about when he talks about God and religion? What does it mean? I want to know. That quest alone is a very, very sacred quest, because you're looking for meaning and something to anchor you in life. And that is why it is so profoundly important.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Definitely.
Especially like for me, I'm personally not like, I used to be ex-Muslim, but I'm more into awareness, higher consciousness, asking myself, am I really conscious or not? There's deep questions, and looking at the laws of the universe, balance, paradox, all these type of things that
Yep.
deep and profound.
Yeah, very true. My daughter, she was, I think, 7 when she asked me. I was driving her at night time, and she said, "Baba, why are we here?" And I said, "Baby, we are here." No, no, it's more. I said, "We are here because your father has a job here." And she said, "I know that, Baba, you got a job here. What I'm asking is, why are we here in the world? Who created everything? What created this everything? Why are we here in the universe?" I said, "I don't know. I think there is a God." And she said, "Do you believe in God?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because I think there is a chance there an entity like a God does exist. I'm not too sure. And I'm always oscillating back and forth, but I think there is a God." Then I asked her, I said, "Do you believe in God?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Why do you think there is a God? God exists?" And she said, "Because everything needs a creator." And I said, "Well, then who created God?" And she said, "Baba, all these arguments that people say that universe has existed forever can also be posited that God has existed forever, and he is the one who's created the universe." I said, "Wow, you got it all figured out at age of 7. It took me like my entire lifetime to figure it out."
Yeah,
So that was a profound answer, which is true.
Yeah, kids are very bright like that. It's remarkable, you know.
Yeah, and she was 7, like hardly 7, man. That was like profound. I could not imagine I could have this discussion with a 7-year-old, and she just caught me off guard totally like that.
You could learn a lot from kids, man. You know, like
I could not agree more, my friend. I could not agree more.
But if, gentlemen, if I may, I'm sorry to interrupt anyone.
Absolutely, you're not interrupting. Go ahead, man.
It's very genuine. I mean, I was raised Southern Baptist, fire and brimstone, about 13 hours a week in church. And every time I got in trouble, I had to read the Bible, because my mom used to tell me I need Jesus more than anybody ever in the world. So I guess I was a bad kid. But I don't know if spirituality is a way to help this young man. More of companionship with other folks and then leading to spirituality. I mean, the thing is, I grew up in a church, but I also grew up with examples of people in companionship, of just understanding that, there's something out there in the world for me. So, I mean, if I'm really, and my main concern has always been through martial arts, helping folks. That's why I've tried to do this my entire life, different types of martial arts. I just really wanted to join the stream and see, like, what do you folks think, if I could pose a question to anybody, is the best way to start helping this individual now?
He needs to accept that he needs help, and he needs professional help. I'm dead serious. Like, he needs he needs professional help, and he needs to let go of his ego. That's a fact.
True, but first of all, what we need to do is, anybody who ever engages with anyone like this is actually sit and listen, not just hear, actually listen to what he's saying, and then ask a question and let him answer it. This is a profoundly complex situation. Unless you know this guy personally, you can't figure out what's going on.
Here's the thing: they're gonna argue. They're gonna have straw man arguments and say, "Nope, that's cope. Nope, that's cope. Nope, you're wrong."
Which is why you don't talk.
Yeah.
Which is why you ask the questions and let him figure it out on his own, and then you can point the questions in a way where he figures out things for himself.
Some of them are kind of far too gone.
Well, if he's far too gone, he's far too gone. Like he tried.
Yeah.
This is kind of how that is.
All right, well, gentlemen, thank you for answering the question, gentlemen. I got to jump off. I'm in the middle of work, but I just wanted to say greetings to everybody. I haven't been around a lot lately. I'll try to make myself more available, but I'm super swamped right now. But everybody, respect, greetings. And
have a good night, Grover.
Good to see you, Grover. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that, man. And I always check
Yes.
out your streams always, and you're welcome anytime. You know that. Absolutely.
Thank you. It means the world to me. You folks have a great evening.
You too, Grover. And I'm gonna be following him too, guys. Much as I'd absolutely love to stay here, I get a similar issue, and so I gotta get ready to go to bed and go to work tomorrow. But I'll definitely join up again, Tony. It's a pleasure to meet you and to meet all of you guys, and keep this conversation alive. We need more like this for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night, Muhammad's friend.
Yep. Good talking with you and good meeting you. And again, you're always welcome. Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
I like to have conversations. You know, I don't stream that often right now, and normally I like to have a special guest, but I consider everybody on the panel tonight my special guest. And that young man we were showing the video of, he was my special guest for the night. So, but I think something like that is real important to look at that. And, you know, for me, for the past week, to look at those videos and look at this kid. And again, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is satire. He's kind of busting balls. But after I really kind of dove into it, I'm like, man, this is way more serious. You know,
I'm sorry. I apologize, Tony. I just wanted to say, yeah, I agree with you. And I think there's something I just want to throw out. But did you ever? I know there's a lot of layers to this onion called life, but I got to say something about that kid. I'm going to leave you with this because I really have to go. But that is with the man, the young man, is that it's almost like a cry out to the universe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why I say professional help.
Yeah,
professional help, man.
Absolutely, he's crying out for.
He's saying, please, anyone, tell me what to do. Yeah, that's what my first instinct.
Tell me I'm a good boy.
That's my instinct when I see that too, for sure. Like, but again, you're like, you got some people being like, "Oh, come join us in misery."
Yeah. That's
leave
the problem.
Leave the cults. Leave the fucking cults.
Amen.
One of us.
We'll keep that conversation going. I gotta get. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.
You know what? It's kind of funny with that kid. We all had the difference between
He's a man.
The man, young man.
Yeah, you got to give the man respect. If you're,
we got to definitely do it. What's going on, Caduceus, man? The vital message, the host with the most right there. That and Tony. It's always been a pleasure being up here. But how I look at it in that situation, we've all had that situation, maybe for like 1 second, where he's going on for videos. And that's how I kind of look at it. Sometimes one guy may have it maybe for 1 minute. Well, what is this life? What am I doing here? Then you find that thing and move on from there. Versus him who's stuck in that purgatory. I could condemn him. I could call him a loser. But what does that get? Where does that get me? In the end of the day, what does that get him? You know what I mean? Where do we go from there? It's easy to judge, but is it easy to lend a helping hand? That's how I see it. I mean, I could be wrong. You know what I mean? We don't know what his life is like. We don't know. That what Michael Foster's probably better with the pastor's better with that scripture about a person. I forgot what was it where you walk in someone else's shoes. I forget the exact scripture.
Yeah, you're talking about being willing to walk in and go the second mile with somebody. But
yeah. So we don't know exactly what he's encountering because a lot of these guys, again, the interpretation of manhood's been shifted so many times in this last decade. It's been a nightmare. If you're not getting enough leg counts, you're not a man. If you're not lifting heavy weights, you're not a man. If you're not doing this, you're not a man. If you're not doing that, you're not a man.
So if you're not an alpha, you're not a man.
Yeah, that calls right, though, David. You did get the lifting weight part right.
That's why.
A part of what I see though is that we shouldn't gatekeep on like what we call a man, like who's a boy and who's a man. Like you should just being a man is not really what you should. I mean, it's good to be a man, but like it shouldn't be what you want to be known by. You should be known by a virtue, known by an accomplishment.
Did you just quote Michael Foster's book?
Is that a thing in his book?
I think it's something along the lines or something.
I think his book's called like it's great to be a man. Is that what your book's called, Michael?
It's good to be a man.
Good to be a man. Okay.
Yeah, because the last thing I want to know is
bestseller, guys. So let's everybody check that out.
Definitely make an investment on that.
I mean, this is a classic example of misery loves company and stupidity simply demands it.
I know I don't want to be known as, oh, that guy's a man. Like, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
That's so basic,
cliche,
man.
the
Like
cliche
you gotta be known by
identifiers.
like, what'd you do? What kind of man am I? What did I do?
What value do you
What did I
give to
value?
others?
But Caduceus, Solo TV told me that I'm supposed to be alpha to be a man.
You're supposed to be alpha, Woody.
Be alpha.
But that's the thing too, because you got these guys who are putting out this imagery. The media isn't helping because in one cheek they tell you to be this, but then they're putting out commercials showing how useless a man is. So you got a lot of conflicting messages out there that these young dudes are getting bombarded with constantly.
It's
it's
psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's sorry. Go on, Son. My apologies. I thought you had finished.
No, sorry, Mom.
I've got AJ Lifts backstage here. I'm going to put up.
Let's go.
Popcorn time.
That's all right. I'm going to ask AJ.
This is very. It's very important what you were just.
If we're going to have a discussion, please be respectful, AJ. That's all I ask. All right. Let me.
So do you want to welcome him first, Tony, and then I'll go once you've welcomed
Hold on
him.
one second. I got to put up an overlay here just because.
Sure.
No
Gotta put the curtains up. Got to put the curtain up.
AJ, is that you?
Bring the burqa up. Make burqa
Hello,
great
can you guys
again.
hear me?
Yep. AJ, is that you? Everybody quiet so I can hear him. AJ? AJ, is that you?
Well, if you guys can hear me, I just wanted to say,
no, I can.
Religion doesn't really have a place
We can hear
in
you.
the modern day and age
Hold on.
because
I can hear you.
modern day religion is all about shaming men, but
AJ,
not
we can
controlling
hear you,
women.
buddy.
So it's like a self-flagellating type of thing. So unless you're a masochist, religion doesn't have really have a place in a man's life.
So, can you hear us?
That was pretty much all I wanted to say. I mean, you
that's
see
cool.
that the church is constantly about shaming men, but the church never shames women. It's always men, you need to do better. You need to take the initiative and you need to take responsibility. But with women, it's all about preaching forgiveness and come to Jesus moments, and you'll be forgiven by the power of Christ. It's a double standard at the end of the day.
AJ, can you hear?
And
Can you hear us?
that's my only issue. And then advocating marriage with a 90% female divorce initiation rate. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm in Russia right now. The divorce rate is 55%. It's the highest in the world. So,
AJ, can you hear us?
I mean, advocating
No?
marriage to someone who doesn't have the experience with women in the first place.
Can we
that's
do
a bad
it?
idea.
AJ, can you hear everybody, bro, or no? You're just gonna
Can you hear
keep
us, or
talking?
are you gonna talk? Because like it would be better dialogue if we address things
Yeah.
one at a time.
Yeah, Spurgeon doesn't help.
No, I can't.
I can't tell if he can hear us or not. He might not really.
I don't think he can hear
Yeah.
us. I think his
Yeah.
audio might not be. Hold on, I'm gonna type in the private chat.
I think he wasn't. I agree. I don't think he was actually hearing us.
Yeah, I don't
from
think
this
so.
end.
Yeah, I think he can't hear. I don't think he can hear us right now. So
That's too bad.
it's too bad because that could have been a good discussion right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Is he in
Agreed.
USA? Is this guy in
Russia.
USA
He
or
says, he
somewhere
says
else?
he's in Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russia. Okay.
You guys can mute
And it's
me.
funny
That's all
that
I
he
wanted to
says
say.
that. It's funny that he says that because.
Hold up.
Oh, he's
hold up,
back
hold
now.
up. AJ, can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
He's having some technical difficulties.
Oh, crap.
He said no. Okay, he says no. Okay, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh, that's sad.
yeah. I don't have you muted or anything, so we can hear you. Just can't hear us. If you want to go ahead and jump off and jump back on, that might be the key to that. So
Hey, let me respond to what he said. Well, one, he's not wrong in every way. It is true that by and large, the church does shame men. They preach really hard on things that even I would agree are sins: pornography, sleeping around, all that stuff. I'd agree with that. But they always do it only towards men and not towards women. And they don't deal with women. I mean, look, it wasn't 54 million men that bought 50 Shades of Grey. Come on, you know. I mean, that was the guys.
Basically.
Yep.
You know, and
Damn, Foster, that's pretty good. You know, I was not expecting that. So go on.
Well, I know the stats. I know I'm not. Women are fallen just like men are fallen, and Jesus died on the cross for men and women, which means women have sin that they need to be forgiven of. So I would just say that he's not wrong. That the church has been very soft on women, and very imbalanced on men. So I would say that part is true. Okay.
He said a potato sim connection.
90%. Let's talk about the divorce rate and just math here for a second. So the divorce rate for people that regularly attend religious services is right at about 34%. That's the fact. And if you actually know the stats, you know that's about right. So that's just if they attend a religious service together a couple times a month. The divorce rate drops down significant, right? It's not, you know, so you add a couple other filters in there, then it gets pretty low. So yeah, if you're just living like the culture and you have the same cultural values, your marriage is probably going to fail. If you're a carbon copy of Kardashianism and Marxism and all the BS that's in our culture, your woman's going to divorce you. It's not going to go well. It's going to be a mess. But this idea that like half of all marriages end in divorce is just not true. First off, that divorce rate is exaggerated by the second and third marriages that are often included in that divorce rate. And people on second and third marriages have higher rates of divorce than people in the first marriage. And it really exaggerates it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he mentioned a divorce rate. I think he said divorce initiation, which
they are, but that's so it is true that when a divorce happens, it's initiated most of the time, 68% of the time by a woman, and 90% of the time if she has a bachelor's or higher. That's probably where he's getting those stats from. That's what I'm thinking about. So women are those that initiate divorce. The reason they do that is men are more practical. And men are very willing to stay in a bad relationship and try to make the most of it, where women will do that for a time, and then they come to a position where they are fed a divorce fantasy by popular culture that basically Mr. Right's out there waiting for them, and if they divorce their husband, they're gonna have a better life and they're gonna find a better guy, just like Jennifer Aniston did in the movie. That's fed to them and encouraged to them, and they're told that they're brave, where the reality is that there's not a huge market waiting out there. And some of the more disgusting guys that they claim their husband is, but probably wasn't, are actually the ones that they're going to go on dates with, and they have zero desire to marry these women. They have a very specific goal, and no one has the guts to tell these women that. Like, I've sat down with single women, and I have said in the proper context with that if they don't change their views on some things, they're going to die alone. You know, and I have a lot of young women ask me if their standards are too high. And I say it's not that they're too high. They're just out of accord with who you are, you know, and there's not very many people that sit down and do that. So I don't disagree with him that it's hard. People that think we can get out of this situation out with marriage are stupid. I'm just going to say it. You're stupid. Like there is no way out of it. And you say, well, not legal marriage. And I'll walk you through how if you're with one person for a long time, you end up being subject to the state just as well. But there is no way out of this situation without healthy, intact families producing intergenerational warriors that's going to take this thing on for a long time. This is a beast that you don't solve in 10 years. What we're up against, the feministic state, all these situations, it's going to require sons and daughters of character. And those people are not produced in broken homes. And they're not produced by what? But MGTOW channels on YouTube are going to like keep winning the next generation for the fight. That's we're gonna have to recruit from the broken families to get the next generation to fight. That's how that's going to be handed down. It's going to be handed down by intact, healthy families. Now, not everybody can do that. Everyone's got their own situation they got to deal with. And some of y'all that have gone through terrible divorces, I'm not here to guilt you into another marriage or say that's the right thing for you. Some of y'all don't want to be married. And I would say as a Christian, as long as your sexual ethics consistent, it's right. But we have to have marriages to get out of this because we have to have families. We have to have stable families. And I think the whole manosphere is inconsistent on these issues. They're like, they have this problem with whores, but they're anti-marriage. It's like, work that out for me. Like,
I have to agree with that a lot. You know, I was saying earlier in this stream that, you know, as men too, we can't just be leaders of men. We have to be leaders of women. That's real important. And I think women really are thirsty for a man that leads, and to let her know the damage she can cause in her life if she continues to do what she's doing. That's not a bad thing. That's not simping. That's not a bad thing to tell women. I mean, you do that at the 22 convention and maybe in a different way, but we have to learn as men, you know, we're all trying to have a conversation here and talking about things, but, you know, saying that you're going to lead women or help them not be damaged is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for any generation to come or generations that are coming up. So, you know, as men, we got to realize, yeah, we can help men all the time, but sometimes you got to help women too. You really do. Show that. I think that's where the manosphere is failing.
Exactly.
Time, you know,
it's another thing too. It's easy to say, oh, there's somebody for someone, but I kind of believe that, you know, it's just we try to cling on to this hyper masculine fantasy of getting this ultra hot babe and gonna have this crazy marriage, and we finally get there and realize, oh, it's a totally different story. I wish life came with a manual, but unfortunately, as a man, things don't come with a manual like that.
Yeah, but one thing I know is that the manosphere fails in is not holding men accountable. Everybody wants to blame it on the woman. Like I said, you know, female nature, we hear so much about that. And I'm going to stick by this. And female nature is what you allow into your life.
Exactly.
Don't blame it on female nature.
It's what you allow in your life, but you got to know what deal you're signing up for before you act. Of course, you got to know.
But most guys know.
I'm not telling guys not to do shit. I'm just saying, like, hey, you got to figure out what you do. Take accountable for the choices you make. Be accountable for what you tolerate.
You see those red flags. Don't let them go by.
Be smart and efficient. And, you know, you're in charge of your own, you know, like I know a lot of guys, they say like, be void of emotions or all that. I know you can never be void of emotions.
I think,
never.
You don't control that. I think that's more for the decision-making side of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and what's the best way to do that? You write things down. You analyze your emotions. You see where it's coming from. Is it from childhood traumas? Is it some other bullshit like relationship that you had that angers you and stuff? Write it down, you know, and you get to see patterns in your life. That's
what I've noticed about men is sometimes you just want what you want. And I'm not gonna try to take that away from, and I've mentioned this many times. I'm not going to try to take that away from the guy that wants the little white house with a white picket fence, 2.5 children, and a dog.
Oh, yeah. If he wants that,
that's his dream.
If he wants it, he can go for it. He just has to know like what he's signing up for when he leads for that. That's just autonomy.
We know men, and I've been blinded by it before. You've been blinded by beauty. You've been blinded by lust. You've been blinded by love.
She's so perfect. I'm sorry.
If you haven't gone through that as a man, you haven't lived, as far as I'm concerned. You need to feel that. You need to understand it. If you haven't felt that, you can't understand it. That's my opinion on that. Okay, I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying my life experience. That if I didn't live through some of that misery, I wouldn't understand it. So that. To me, that's how I understood
this life is meant to be experienced, whether it's good or bad. It just is, you know?
Yeah, experience things, yeah.
Yeah, and don't have anyone tell you what to do. This dude,
That's the
you know,
worst position
No,
to
but
be
yeah.
in,
that's
man.
no, but so hang on. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. That's an oversimplification, because just not too long ago we were having a discussion, and I wanted to chime in that half of the corrections, the course corrections we introduce into our lives, is when someone tells you, "Dude, you are messing it up. Don't do it, or you're gonna regret and repent what you're gonna do." This is what Michael Foster does. This is what we talk, and in a way we are actually telling and talking about stuff
Yeah,
that
but a
can get
lot of
us
these guys
into
wants
trouble.
to be hand coddled and shit. That's what I'm like against. You know, like
See,
in
my thing is, I agree with you in the part that, let's say, see, unless you have a moral compass to determine what is right from what is wrong, you will always be led by someone else, because you just
Yeah.
don't know what to do. That is where Michael Foster and other people with some religious moral values come in. They are the ones who tutor us how to learn and hone our own moral values.
Yeah. It's one thing about feeling invalidated, you know what I mean? It sucks when you're mad when you feel invalidated.
Yeah.
and
AJ,
and
that's
I can tell you, every time I was about to mess up big time, I had my friends, and again, it's a cultural thing. My friends would come in and tell me, like, in verse words, "Dude, you're about to fuck it all up. What the fuck are you doing? Back off! Don't do it."
Yeah.
Or gee, yeah,
Those little
and they
red
are the
flags,
ones who
yep.
made me, yeah, upfront. My father would tell me stuff like, not in these words, because he didn't need to. I would always be scared of him. But my friends, like very close friends, like you guys here, dude. And what of the biggest that is why I say this political correctness is actually created this thing that you have to agree with whatever the other person. Oh, it's your choice. If you have to explore yourself, you have to what the hell? There is something
Live
as
your
right and
truth.
wrong.
Live your
It's my
truth.
truth. It's my truth. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It's
Yeah,
one truth, but we all got different perspectives.
Yeah,
it's all about perception. Everything in life is based on perception.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true,
one
but
person,
there is a
one
wrong
person's,
there is
one
a wrong
person's
perception.
trash is another person's gold. You know, and
That is true also. That is true also. But there is such thing as being totally screwed up, having wrong perception of life and about matters in life. And that's, see, you can be
Yeah, you could.
skeptical, but at some point in time you become unhealthily skeptical.
Yeah, you
And
could have
that's what is, yeah.
self-destructive perspective.
Yes,
you got to have a
absolutely.
balance
It
in
happens.
things. Yeah,
I
for
want,
sure.
I want to get Michael Foster has to go. He has to go feed the animals. He's a farmer now.
Oh no!
Hey, you can meet up with David in the chicken coop.
The chicken coop.
Hey! I
shit.
retired the chicken coop, man. Now I'm dealing with crazy people.
And just quick comment to Michael Foster.
I want Michael Foster's perspective on this comment.
Tony, can I give a quick comment to what Michael Foster said about the preaching and what AJ was saying about religion? Whatever he's saying that religion does in West, in Middle East, in Pakistan, it does exactly the opposite. It doesn't trash men, it values men. It doesn't
Yeah.
trash women either. It values women. Like for me, my mother is the most sacred person after God and the prophets.
Yeah,
But it does not trash my father. It gives value to the father also. That
Yeah.
is the opposite in the Western culture, and it's a
Gender
cultural thing.
versus
It's not a
likeness.
religious thing.
Well,
I got a quick thing to say before we go into this topic. Sorry to keep you up a couple
all
more
right.
seconds, Michael. I think my response to that, like, I liked what Michael said, that the religion being kind of an inevitability, like it's someone's gonna have faith in something, whether it's a god or some sort of philosophy. Someone, like, a religion will happen. It's just whether you pick a good one or not. That's healthy for you. It helps you kind of build what you want to build.
Yep. It's not whether, but which, right? As some of these things are inevitable in the line of thinkings, and I just think a lot of people are still working their way towards some of that realization. The comment that you want me to comment on, Tony, could you restate it? Like what the
It's many people confuse love with lust.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think
I
he's
have
right.
to agree with him. I think that's
Yeah.
big.
So in Greek, we've got 4 different types of love: agape, eros, storge, and philos, right? So we've got the sort of unconditional love that only God lives with or loves with. We've got eros, which is erotic. It's a desire. We've got storge, which is kind of like a deep friendship and very deep. And like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Right. Like, so that's where sort of brotherly love. So there's a kind of a depth. And as Americans, we love our dog, we love chocolate, we love our wife, right? But all the use of love there is different. And it's based on the context, right? But deep, more robust languages like Greek have those different usages. So lust is a strong urge. And we usually think about it in terms of sex, right? So strong sexual urge, but it really just means a strong urge.
But avaricious urge or something
along those lines. Yeah. Something that's like an improper, disordered urge. So can you lust towards your wife? Well, not really, because if you desire to have sex with her, that's right? It's ordered properly. Something that's supposed to happen. But basically people feel a strong arousal, which is mostly sexual, as opposed to attraction, where attraction is sexual, interrelational, personality. It's a more robust word, right? When we say we're attracted to someone, it could be an arousal, but often we're talking a little more holistically about what's going on. And there are a lot of people that enter into a relationship based mostly on the fact that the person arouses them, right? And I think that's what AJ is talking about. And love, though, is more robust. And love is not just a feeling, it's a commitment. Me and my wife, we took vows to each other. About 2.5 years into our marriage, we were on the verge of divorce, and it was very difficult. She wouldn't move, I wouldn't move. We both were like locked in a fight, and God, Lord will, thanks to God, we both got humbled, and she became more submissive, and I stepped up my game as a leader. But at the core of it, I remember having a conversation like, look, darling, we took vows before God and for men on our wedding day, and we should keep our vows if we're Christians. And that appealed to her. I said, we made a covenant with God. We got to work this out because we're Christians. And we worked it out. And that's love. Love is covenantal. Love is based on commitment. And I think it's really hard in a society that, it's funny, people say that the manosphere treats women like infants, right? Tries to make them look stupid. And then you go watch the libs of TikTok's videos on Twitter, and you see these women acting like insane people and acting like infants. And our whole culture has corrupted young men and young women. But the women have been, they're just so vocal in their corruption. And I think it is a very difficult time for guys, because what does a woman bring to a relationship that often, other than the sexual dynamic? And the sort of PUAs are picking up on that, like if we took your looks away, what would be the best thing that you had to offer to a relationship, right? It's like a subtle neg. And a lot of them don't have an answer for that, right? And so we tell guys you can't be motivated by lust, and then we tell them what sort of woman they should find, and they're few and far between. They get very frustrated. But what other choice do we have, right? Like there's these guys that are telling you to enjoy the downgrade are parasites and predators. Like there obviously are. They're trying to take advantage of you. They're trying to get money off of you. They're trying, they get off on the power they have over people, even if they're not making money. They just love the power and the narcissism. But the hard truth is, yeah, you have to actually not be just merely motivated by lust. You need to find a good woman and marry her if you can find her. But finding her is going to be really hard, and you can't let your life be defined by finding a woman. so, so just be religious. Yeah, what a retarded statement. Seriously. I mean, seriously, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with some of you? Are you really this dumb? You know, like, well, am I supposed to come on here and act like this is not stupidity? But it's a very difficult situation that they're up against. And I feel like I say that every week, or every time I come on here. I just want to reinforce, like, I understand that there is a lot of things going against guys, but I don't know. Are we Spartans? Is this Thermopylae? Are we going to stand together and fight to the end and see if we can't turn the tide? I mean, that's the situation to some degree, and I think we have to talk about what our long-term goals are and why and how we're going to do it, and be very frank about it, and not coddle these guys that have the IQ to say, so be religious. You know, we can't sit around and coddle these guys, and we have to call them to the what's right. I mean, that's one reason I like this forum. This forum's a forum with normal guys trying to fight it out and figure out what to do on the ground, kind of ground level stuff. You know, there's a lot of people that'll tell you how to fix society from the top down. It's all theory. You know, it's like, what are they actually doing? So what do we do at the street level? And it's hard. So I guess I just say, like, I agree with AJ. People confuse lust with love. You don't want to do that. You want to have attraction and arousal in a marriage or in a relationship, in a marriage, you know. But finding the right sort of person to hit your wagon to is hard. And that's why it's so valuable, and we shouldn't diminish it.
You know, it's maybe you agree or disagree with me, but I tend to believe that something I got from Jesse too is that, you know, I pick up little bits and pieces from people, and, you know, I'm not going to say that I'm too old to learn. You know, I've learned from Caduceus, I've learned from Shift, I've learned from everybody on this panel pretty much. And to me, I really believe that I like the idea that somebody will be added unto you. And I think that's kind of a better way to look at it than to say you're going to find somebody, because I think a lot of times when you're looking, you're looking for something that you're just not going to get. It's not like looking for a car. I think
that's a good insight there, because I think a lot of guys are looking to be completed when really they should be looking for something that would enhance them.
Complete me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's your job to be like complete yourself.
Yeah, be complete,
and then search and like kind of find a person that enhances you. You enhance each other instead of the word. That's why I hate the word "settle down." I hate that word.
Oh,
I absolutely hate it. Despise
I hear
it.
that all the time.
I agree. Yeah, I got a bolt, fellas.
Yeah, cheers, man.
God bless.
See ya, Michael.
All right, Michael. Definitely a pleasure.
Thank you.
It shouldn't be settling down. It should be leveling up if you do it right.
Yeah.
Like if you think about trying to find somebody, and then you say, okay, somebody's added to your life. Those are two totally different things. Which would you rather have, out looking or having somebody added to your life? So that's kind of the way I look at it in my life. And so if I feel somebody's added to my life, I think that's going to be better than me going out looking. Because again, you know, that looking, you can confuse that lust for love. So I think that's one of the things.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, it wasn't until I started to stop being so thirsty and lusting after, you know, any woman out that was decent looking, and I stopped, and I figured out what was of value in my life, and like what my purpose was. Started thinking about questions like that and following my passions. And that's when the people in my life and like my wife came around that time, you know, and hasn't been easy, but she's been a pretty good helpmate, you know.
Never is, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely. But she I wouldn't say she complete me, but she was a good, like Tony said, I love that. Like she was a great add-on to what I was already doing, you know.
A lot of these guys, they view women as a therapist or something. You know, it's like, dude, like you gotta have.
That's the last person you want to talk to.
Exactly.
I would talk to you guys.
Women
You know
subconsciously will pick that up and just tear you apart.
Well, now sometimes you can though. I mean, it's gonna be 10 years in December. We've been around, so it's like there's gonna be times when I want to run things off her, even when I'm my lowest. But if you constantly do that to a woman, you're just gonna turn her away, man. She's gonna look at you like a piece of shit.
Let me see if I got something here. I think this is it right here.
A man should never, ever, ever, but never, 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 ever, never, 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 ever, 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 ever tell a woman his weakness. Never let a woman know your weakness. Never tell her your issues, because she would never let you forget it. Even when you overcome those issues, 50 years down the road, she'll remind you of them.
Yep. Absolutely. Because you'll be a beta.
It goes down to extreme accountability. You got to have extreme accountability for yourself, and nobody else can do it for you. Only you. Only fucking you. That's it. You know, even if you do have a partner, you know, that's why I always preach like about kind of in a way like awareness. That's a man's best friend. It's always there. It's always there. It always listens. It doesn't take sides. It's infinite awareness, and it's there until your last breath. So.
And then we got one more from Jesse. This is absolutely one of my favorites. This is one of my shorts, and it's got, I don't know how many, over 1,000 views in a short time. But this is a fact too, guys, and this is a fact women watching. So it's a real good piece of advice from Jesse right here.
A man don't want some woman that some other man been digging into, right? And
digging into, that sounds horrible.
Nobody wants to take out anyone else's trash. Whoops, I shouldn't say it like that.
I just love that laugh, man, and just the way he said it. You know, it's a little bit harsh. It's harsh probably for a woman to hear that, but it's just as harsh for a man to hear that. And you know, that's why I was saying earlier that sometimes we got to lead these women out of the things that they're going through. And that's not a bad thing. That's not being a simp. It's being a man. I mean, that's my opinion on that. Again, you know, my opinion. Not that opinionated, but sometimes I like to kind of throw it out there.
I mean, you definitely have a point. Like, you know, like I have two sisters, and I would always challenge them. I would say, you only got a B? Where's the A? Talk to me when you're finished. Talk to me. I don't care if you're crying. Talk to me when you're done with the work. You know, and they went on to the medical field, and now they're married and all that. Fantastic, you know.
Yeah. Here's a great comment by Darkest Night. What do you guys think of this, man?
But you have to be real. I think we're pretty realistic, you know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not nihilism. Here's the thing about nihilism. You could use it to your advantage to say, oh, fuck. You could use it as motivation. You know, it's like the only place to go is go upwards. But if you stay there for too long, then guess what? The only place to go with nihilism is to the dirt.
Think about nihilism, though. Isn't that like, it doesn't necessarily mean like doomerism. It's more of like there's no like, I don't see
no purpose in life.
There's no purpose in like I don't see a point in this like grand scheme of thing. But you can have it in your advantage. Like if like you make a mistake and you're like, oh man, I can bounce back. There's no meaning to this. Like in a way.
You know, Darkest Night. This black pill, all this stuff, all this nonsense. It has done before. Do you know who the philosopher that wrote about this doomerism type of stuff, that your life has no purpose? Schopenhauer. That guy was super doomer. Super doomer.
I wouldn't even like equate black pill with doomerism straight up. It's a camp that prescribes people to fucking hyperanalyze every like little looks component and say like, oh, it's over. That kind of crap.
They're trying to blame out external sources, but guess what? The world doesn't care. It doesn't care who you blame. You know, you got to go forth. You got to go move forward. You know, life has never been about fairness, man. It's about the survival of the fittest.
Yeah. Blaming is for kids.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
And
Nobody
again,
gives a shit.
tonight is about it's not over, and I'm still going to give the comment of the night to Caduceus, to where the original "it's over" is just clarity, and that's a great way to look at the term "it's over." It's clarity, and then deal with it in the best way that you can.
Yeah, like, yeah. You're not making the NBA, bro. You're not athletic enough. All right, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah,
I mean, that's realistic. That's like, yeah, if you don't have the talent, all right, great. You move on and find something better, or you find what you're passionate about, you know?
Yeah. And one thing I will say, too, is that the last thing I ever want to do is, and I never will do, is I won't shame anybody, man. I just, shaming to me is, I guess it can be good sometimes, but most of the time it's just a bad road.
I mean, to me, it's, I just view it as tough love, It's like, I understand, I empathize with you, but I can't coddle you. I can't handhold you. It is brutal out there, but
wouldn't you guys agree that most of the time when somebody's shaming somebody else is to make themselves feel better, not the other?
They come out of their own arrogance.
Yeah,
they usually come out of the hip.
It's pretty comical when someone tries to shame you, like when you know that you're like self-fulfilled in a way. Like, you're like, okay, you say okay, and you're like, I'll let you vent, man.
Tony, I was on these type of streams where it's over and all that because I want to get from their perspective, right? Mm-hmm. And when I talk about markets and I talked about full accountability, do you know what was they said when I completely eliminated the women aspect and blaming others? They say you're privileged. You have too much time on your hands to know this stuff. You're privileged. I'm like, what? You guys don't want to escape the bucket. It's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to.
I'd love to have you on here some night, man, and talk with us, bro. I mean, that'd be cool, man. Sometimes some of you guys in the chat have been here for a while, and you don't have to cam up here, that, but come on and talk, man. Your voice is necessary, and your voice needs to be heard.
Exactly.
Sometimes what happens is that, it's kind of like a text message, okay? Text messages, I'll give you an example. In fact, Anthony Johnson had tweeted this, but it was GFY. My brother, this was like 4 years ago. I didn't speak to my brother for like 6 months because he sent me a text, something we were going back and forth, and it said GFY, which I thought it meant go fuck yourself. And what he meant was good for you, not go fuck yourself. So when you text somebody, there's no inflection, there's nothing in sometimes written word. So, looking at comments and stuff, we can only interpret them by just the text itself. The way you say something is different. You can say things can be said in different. You can say two things. You can say the same thing in two different mannerisms or two different inflections in your voice, and they're going to sound totally different.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I welcome everybody to come on and talk about it, because it's just a good thing to do.
And it's also good manners to say if you've been in the chat for a while, just voice and say, hey, what's up, Tony? What's up, panel?
And
like what you're doing.
I'll give you an example. You could look at my work that I do. Somebody could say, who did that? Or they could say, who did that? I mean, those are the same words with two totally different meanings. So when we read something, that's why I invite everybody to come on and talk. When we read something, we can only interpret it through the text. So.
What I honestly would suggest is like Darkest Night. Go on streams where they make you feel good and it feels therapeutic. If you go on these other streams where it's completely like to the other spectrum of negativity, just eliminate them. Don't go on those streams anymore. Anything that's promoting that type of cult, doomerism, extreme looksism, just eliminate it. It doesn't exist, and just go on streams where it's more positive. And guess what? Like, you start having those positive thoughts, then soon positive actions. and then soon a positive outlook in life. You know, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. Yeah, Shift is one of the most positive guys I know. I swear to God.
I know people think I'm too base, but yeah, it's
it's
nah.
great, man. It's to hear that is it's refreshing. You know what I mean? It just is to hear positivity, solutions. You know, again, tonight's about solutions, and I hope we gave some people out here watching tonight some solutions in life. You know, that's not. We don't want every time we have a stream. I know Caduceus gets a little sick of it, but we don't. Do we always want it about women? No. We got to make it about ourselves also. And there's so many other things. To me, the byproduct of a good life is a good woman. I think that's a fact in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I know it all. I know I'll get some feedback from that, but that's just a fact, man. I've lived long enough to know that that's what's going on. So, but anybody else got any points to make? We're gonna wrap up soon here.
Definitely, I would say the Deke has to say one thing. It's not over. No matter what people like tonight, and for instance, I went to go to the movies, right? And I ran into that old friend group. And I said, what's up to them? Like I played around and their women had nothing to say. That was the moment that I realized, like, why am I worried about what people say or do? When is that? That's when the 40-year-old me kicked in. Like, why am I worried? You know, sure, I don't have this. Sure, I'm not there, but I know I'm in a place where I'm about to get there. And I'm continuing the thing because no matter what, you know, this guy is saying it's over in the video. What happens if we got all that stuff? He wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. So at the same time, he should just experiment with life, like Caduceus always coins. Like not verbatim of what he says normally, but it's a great quote about treating life as an experiment, and get off those doomer streams and start experimenting it. You know, it's never easy when you're going to change. That's one thing I've learned in life. It's never easy when you make a change for yourself, especially a positive change. But the end result's always going to be the greatest.
Yeah, somebody made a point earlier about too is that he is getting a lot of validation now and some. It's Uncle Guns. Let me bring Uncle Guns on. Guns, what's up?
It's me, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
The man with a cigar sitting in the back of the bar. What's up, bro? Uncle Guns.
But let me ask you guys a question. Now, this young man makes a video now with something positive and a change that he made in his life. You think he'll get 200 views?
That's the problem with the YouTube algorithm. They don't want to promote positivity, accountability, solutions. I've seen it. It's all clickbait bullshit and negativity because guess what? Unfortunately, the fact is that most of us we respond the greatest to negative stimuli. It's not a bad thing. It has kept us, living, during times of the caveman times, during in survival times. But now it's used as a weapon against us. It's psychological warfare. So now you have to cue in. Is like, why do I feel negative? You got to write shit down, and you got to see like the YouTube algorithm. A lot of what's on the internet is not real. It's not real life, and it's a sad fact that they don't. They're not promoting positivity. Instead, they're promoting drama and all this other nonsense. It's like it's not real life. It's just not, And,
yeah, I mean, there's so many channels out. That's why I say, everybody stay in their lane. Like when it comes to roasts and things like that. I mean, nobody's better than MD as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind if he goes in hard, but the whole thing about roast, I grew up with anybody remembers the Comedy Central roasts? I mean, those were brutal.
Oh my God.
Donald Trump but MD, Anthony Johnson, a couple other guys are just absolute masters at it. And I think it's necessary.
I mean, there's comic relief, and then there's like this doomer stuff where, I just think YouTube should just shut it down. Like this stuff is just dangerous,
yeah.
Yeah, it needs to get shut down. Like honestly, this shut down. It should not be supported.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's
I don't know. Then you'll empower them. They'll make them. You make them feel like even more ostracized.
You'll make them. Make them martyrs.
You'll make them more. You'll add an extra like victim feather in their cap.
I guess it's just the Vulcan in me. It's like I don't know, you know,
all or nothing.
Yeah, it's all or nothing.
You want to go for the kill, but and like go nip it in the bud, but you're just gonna spread the fire that way.
Yeah.
Which is even sadder. Yeah.
Ojit has a great comment here. If anybody hasn't seen there's a kind of a 15, probably 10, 15-minute video. I think there was a lot of us on that stream, but Michael Foster kind of coined the phrase "merchants of misery." Great little video on my channel, but check it out. You know, Foster's got some great wisdom, man.
Or the succubus of doom.
Yeah.
You know? There's so many of them. It's like, nope. Money.
Succubus
Oh, you're
of
just
succotash.
money. You're just gonna get attracted to whores. Or why you are trying to advance? It's always like why? Cope. Rope.
Whoa.
Rope a
Did he
dope.
really
Yeah.
pass away?
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's even being reported by Donovan Sharp himself.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I'm sorry to say it like that.
You know, he had a, you know, like him or not, you know, he contributed a lot to the manosphere, and
this is
afternoon. No man should die that young.
This afternoon was awkward when I was kind of memeing him a little bit, and then I got
we
commented
had
that he died, and
had
I was
no
like,
idea.
I was like, hey, I don't know if this is true, but here's a salute for you. And
Yeah.
I played the oh my.
Oh my.
Here's the thing. Do you know what's even sadder is those? It's just the women that are just absolutely hate him. They're saying, "Thank God he's dead."
Yeah, that's
the
awful.
terrorist is dead. I'm like,
that is awful. He's not
awful.
He's no terrorist.
No, he just kind of told you the truth in a way.
And
that you
I
didn't
don't
like.
feel, to be honest, I don't feel sorry for those witches. They deserve everything that comes
No,
to them.
they're miserable
Cunts.
women.
Miserable cunts. That's what they are. You know?
Yeah. If you look on Twitter right now, you'll see like if all you got to do is search Kevin Samuel's dead like I did, and then go to the latest or the top comments, and you'll just see a lot of hate. It's crazy that somebody passed away, but the hate is still there. You know?
Oh yeah.
Because
what did Kevin do to you is the real thing.
Right. We've all said it on, you know, a lot of it's been covered tonight. Misery sells, and it sells faster and quicker and easier than, you know, positivity. You know, the haters, the trolls, all the negative stuff, it happens quicker. You know, it's people, it gets your attention easier. You know, it sells. That's why you see the news used to be the news, and there was no commercials, and it just reported the news. And now it's earthquakes, volcanoes, death, war, famine, AIDS, plague, you know, this, that, Russia, you know, and it's just nonstop, just garbage. It's absolute garbage. And, you know, I'm to the point where, you know, we used to use a term back when I was, you know, in the military. We used to see negativity like that, and it was like, you know, if you're going to be like that, keep going, because you know, that kind of stuff fizzles out. And we used to have a saying, and that saying was chlorine for the gene pool, chlorine for the fucking gene pool.
I had a cousin I recently met, and he's the classic doomer. And honestly, I just slapped him in the face. I said, shut the fuck up, wake up, and stop complaining.
No, I'm done with that. You know, those people are going to be those people. I think Tony was saying it earlier in the stream. Everybody knows that person that complains all the time. I cut those people off 15, 20 years ago. Everybody knows those people that just complain all the time. Oh, you know, and then there's always that enabler that, well, you know, you can't talk about that. You know, he or she doesn't like it when you talk about that. No, you just want to, like you said, you just want to shake them and say, you crazy bitch, you know what the fuck's wrong with your life. Stop announcing it to everybody and go fix that shit. But they won't, because they're so addicted. They're so addicted to the negativity. They just swim in it, and they just invite it in. You know, the old saying, misery loves company, but nobody loves old misery. You know, misery loves company, but nobody loves what do you say about the rate of return? You know.
It's well. Here's the thing: misery loves company, and stupidity simply demands it. Misery and stupidity are our all-time bull markets, and it's never going to stop. I wish I could invest in those because I'll be filthy rich.
Or there's indirect ways you can.
You wonder why you wonder why I wanted that stock option in OnlyFans. For God's sakes, I'll be a billionaire at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that stock in the Ace Hardware if they ever do.
Oh God!
God damn. Or like a stock option in sex dolls. Like
your waifus? Oh God!
Oh God!
Dude. Waifus, yeah. Let me think. I mean, if you could invest in like vices and stuff like that.
The materials that make them.
The self-destructive copes. Like you can. I mean, there's a lot of areas you can invest.
After a certain while, it's just like you learn to just like even with my cousin, he's not going to listen. I know that, and then I'm not going to see him again. And that's how it goes. It's like, look, I had enough with you. I don't want to hear it. Go bitch to your father.
The good thing about it is that, and again, everybody has said it tonight, is that we all know people like this, and a lot of it, a lot of us used to be kind of like this in one way, shape, or form, and that's why we come to these communities and have these conversations. Is that hey man, I've been there. I'm letting you know it's not over. You know what do I always say? Every hour, drink water, put the sodas, little bits at a time until you finally start having conversations in the mirror. Just listen to shift, write stuff down, and come back and go back and reread it every day and take your writings to the fucking mirror and say, hey, start asking yourself some tough questions. And you get to the point where you just say, you know what? I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to be surrounded myself with people who are not tearing me down, who actually want to add to my life, who want to see me win, who want to help me win, who will do whatever it takes. A lot of people say, and this is the truth, is that really I've found that half of winning is just showing up.
Yeah.
Seriously, half of winning is just fucking showing up.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah,
or be the last stick standing.
Well, and shift like I'm challenging that idea of like how to invest in misery.
Here's how
I'm starting with maybe misery and stupidity. You could own a bar. That's one that could work.
That's
misery
viable.
and stupidity. You know what? Entering healthcare is kind of like one of those areas.
Pretty much, man. It's like you see death, you see misery, you see carnage.
Misery, and you see people that are there for dumb reasons.
At their like absolute lowest.
And that brings them into your office, and you gotta figure out what's going on or give them options.
Like one classic example is now. Look at the stock market. Everyone's fucking panicking. Everyone is in fear mode. The fear levels are the highest since 2009.
People lost their gas today, right, Shift?
Yeah, and to be honest, but then I look at companies, they're down 80%, but they're solid companies, and they don't want to invest. They're saying, oh, what if it goes down lower? That's exactly the misery.
Yeah, well, people always want to be they want to pick it at the very bottom. They don't want to see
never
any
do
losses,
that.
Which is impossible.
That is a loser proposition. You got to know what you're doing, and you got to like put your money in lots and have a strategy. But no, instead of just saying like, oh, I need a group to tell me what to do, you know, and that's why in markets
I need validation.
Yeah. Yep. Markets doesn't care about validation. It doesn't care about your feelings.
Like,
you gotta have you gotta have a strategy. It's like fucking these guys. Once you like, I've been on that black pill streams, right? And I strip away the validation, the women hating, all the other shit, and then they say you're too privileged. Not everyone is privileged as you to know. And that's when I knew these guys are crabs in a bucket. They want you in their state of misery. They don't want people,
Facts.
And I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys deserve what is handed to you. Yeah. And that's it.
I saw it tonight. I'm finally making my way. I got trolled tonight. I take this as a badge of honor.
Yeah, you did. You got it.
I welcome it,
man.
I welcome it. I thought I was actually loving to see that. Now the night they did that to Peg, that's when I was pissed off.
Yeah, dude,
because that's a
Peg
person who
Bell.
doesn't deserve it.
She doesn't
I
do
deserve it
anything to
because I'm
anybody.
an asshole. I enjoy being an asshole. If you
Yeah,
want to
Uncle-
come in,
He's
I've
like,
had haters. I've had haters all my goddamn life. I welcome it. My haters fuel me. Okay, you want to call me a fat loser? That's cool. Where's your proof?
Uncle
Come and
Guns.
meet me, but you got no proof.
Uncle
Okay,
Guns.
the haters boil down to this, and I said it in the chat. It's one of two things, fuckface. Either you want to be me or you want to fuck me. Which one is it? Decide. Which one is it?
I wouldn't mess with Guns because he might like.
Get on.
He might
You
post
gotta get
Uncle
on.
Guns. Like
Guns might post a cap in your ass and then do like
got-
some
no
ritual to
caps.
make sure.
No caps.
I have to ask, Guns. Did you bathe with tactical soap tonight?
Oh, yes. Dude, I need to get that. Not the one that Rich.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Like
Hey, email Tony for your samples.
Yeah, just David, just send me your address again. I meant to send you some a while ago, but I got a bunch of it. So, and I am wearing a tactical soap shirt that Scott Carr sent me.
Yeah, I'll always take free soap.
But Uncle Guns, on my last stream, I got a Nancy Pelosi troll.
Oh yeah, the troll came to my stream
man.
too.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like,
It's
at least
hilarious.
The trolls are
That's
adapting.
funny.
They want to talk about finance. I'm like, hell
No,
yeah.
They said like Nancy Pelosi, like greatest stock trader ever, or something like that. That's the name of it. That was the greatest. And I tend to agree with that sentiment because she has all that inside info that she just.
Oh hell yeah.
She just like gets the greatest returns of all time.
God damn.
You took time. I work, and I've been working now more than ever because of things going on in my life. When your life starts falling apart, that's what you do. I in a 3-week span, I had everything pretty much in my life go almost upside down. And instead of, oh, geez, what you call everybody, gee, can you lend me some money? And geez, what am I going to do? And oh my God, I don't run to any of you guys. Now Tony's that guy. There's a reason we call Tony the legend. I could have reached out to anybody in the manosphere. Hey man, I got a lot going on. I've told some of you guys backstage, hey, I got a lot going on. Instead of doing all that, instead of freaking out and just losing my shit, you gear the fuck up. You lace your boots up even tighter and you say, you know what? I'm working 5 days a week, 14 to 16-hour days right now, but you know what? Time to kick it into 7 days a week. That's what you got to do. There's no day off. There's no rest.
Absolutely.
There's no, you have to do that. If you stop and toil and stuff in misery and if you sometimes you can get trapped in your own mind.
Yeah.
You can get trapped in your own mind. Your own mind's a fucking prison. Okay. And that's people who are haters, that's what they live in. They live in that world of, geez, I'm going to take some time aside and I'm going to create an account and I'm going to go tell this guy. They know they're going to get deleted. You hear me, fuckface? I know you're out there. You listen to me. You like the sound of my voice? You want Guns to come and make you feel better? I got something for you. Okay. Check it out. I know you're out there. Oh, gee, he's spurging out. You hear him? He's thinking about me. I'm rent-free in Guns' head. Yeah, you and everybody else. Okay?
Well, he was in Spurgatory tonight. That's our new word.
Spurgatory. Jesus.
Spurgatory.
Spurgatory.
We had hypergatory. That's for the guys stuck in hypergamy. And tonight we came up with Spurgatory. So we have.
You'll never win.
That's when
You'll never live this down.
You will never, ever live this down at all.
Nope. Let me see. What do I have here? I think this is the one. I think this is it right here.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
The shadows betray you, Bruce, because they
Then we
belong
got the
to
one
you.
for Guns right here. This is Guns right here. Here it is.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have any money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Good luck. Oh, I skipped a part of this thing.
Skip that part.
You skipped that. If you let my daughter go,
yeah,
I will not look for you.
Yeah.
I will not pursue you.
Yeah, I cut that part out.
If you don't let it go, I will look for you.
I will find you.
I will find you.
Let me add self
Never
here to the stream.
Self is
What's up, my brother?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
What's up, self-made?
I seen Uncle Guns had a fan down there.
I love it.
Super
I love it. I want you to keep making accounts. I want you to keep making accounts. Please keep doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen again. What I've talked about with guys backstage. To call somebody a loser, stop and think about it. To call somebody a loser would actually mean, what does a loser imply? That you were actually at one point in time actually trying to win. You were actually trying to win and you didn't. You came in second place. That's the basic definition of a loser, that you came in second place. Okay. But what do you call somebody that not only didn't they either stepped up to the plate and just decided, you know what, I'm not even going to swing. But then you got people who sit in the dugout or even in the stands and say, you know what, I'm not even going to try. You're just a selfish, you're not even a loser, because a loser would entail that you actually tried to win at some point. You just looked at everything and said, you know what, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to hate on everybody else.
And
Come
another,
hate me some more.
And another side of it, though, if someone's calling you a loser, that means they've kept a track of your record and looked at your wins and losses instead of figuring out stuff in their own lives.
One of my biggest wins of my life was a bronze medal in one of the biggest, I'll call it the biggest tournament of my life.
Yeah.
And it was a bronze medal, and people would say, okay, well, I look at the field of the people that were in there and how many people, and to be on that podium, it wasn't easy for me to be up there with a bronze medal because I made a mistake in the silver medal round, really, to go into the gold medal round. And you're talking a bracket to where it's a double elimination. And the guy that I would have fought for the gold medal was the guy that beat me my first match. Okay. And so then I had to fight 7 more times in one day to make it up there. So did I win? I think so. It took me a while to understand that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
But being on that podium, at that point, I was kind of disgusted in myself. But then in retrospect, I looked at it and said, you know what? I won because I came back, after losing, I came back 7 more times and won. So, it was kind of a 7-1 deal.
Well, and your 2 losses were the 2 guys on the podium with you.
Absolutely. Exactly. Dude, I'm glad you picked up on that. That's funny. That's exactly right. The only 2 losses were the 2 guys on the podium with me. But I don't consider it took me a while to kind of deal with that, because it was, something that I really wanted, So I don't consider that a loss anymore. I used to. So.
Some brutal stuff, man, out there, with this guy saying it's over, though. But it's never over, It's only just begun. Plus, he's a young guy, too. So his life, he hasn't fully even seen the fullness of his life to even say that,
Yeah. I mean, for me, again, looking at that this past week and going through the videos, some of them I had to listen to a couple times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just because I had to kind of soak it in. And then I'm like, man, this guy needs to come on and talk to one of us, or if anybody can get him on their stream, let's do it, man. Let's talk to this dude. And if we can help him make a change in his life, the first thing I would tell him is delete that shit on YouTube.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Yeah. You're not helping anybody.
And also stop with the cults. You delete the Discord.
Yeah.
Tony, can I just add a comment, follow-up comment to something about religion, that people want religion? So in the latest talks by Douglas Murray about his recently released book, War on the West, he's done a string of interviews, and one of those interviews he says that Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins, they were like kind of like we call the neo-atheists, and they said that they were baffled that when a lot of atheists, many of them, they wanted them to come and solemnize their marriage and officiate their marriage, and they were flabbergasted, like, no, this is what we stand up against. We don't want anybody to be the imams or the fathers or the pastors. And yet here we were in the middle of this thing, that as people really beg, they want to worship something or someone, and here were the atheists being worshipped here, although they deny all religion, all form of organized religion, yet it's a religion in its own right. So that's part of what seeks meaning in life in some way or the other.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's why we're all here.
Absolutely.
You're never too old to learn. And
absolutely not. Absolutely.
Again, wisdom isn't always. There's a lot of older people that don't have any wisdom. We all know somebody like that. Because they live in misery. Yeah. And that's one thing I won't do. We all fall back. I've said that tonight a couple times. And the problem is, if you fall back, if you can't get back up again, that's where it goes bad. So,
well, a long time ago, when I started my medical school, and I was pretty hardworking because I would take deep dives into whatever I was reading. And then at some point in time, I said, well, man, yeah, I've done enough. I've learned enough. Is there any reason for me to continue doing this? And then I came across this quote. I don't remember what's the source of this quote. And it said, if the journey is not uphill, it's downhill. And that it hit me like anything. I said, no, you got to keep improving yourself. You never stop, because otherwise your momentum goes away and you start to drop. If you're not improving, you're actually devolving into something worse than what you are today. And that's why you have to continue to learn something every day from everybody you come across.
I love that. Well, we're going to start wrapping it up, guys, because I got to get up early. I'm going to start with some final words. I'm just going to say, hey, guys, it's not over. Hopefully tonight we gave you some solutions to life's problems. Darkest night. Hey, man, keep your head up. I'd love to have you come on some night. I know you said you can't with your voice. You could have a voice, what do they call it, modulator. That's, those are pretty easy to put on a computer. So you can change your voice, but we'd love to talk to you in person for sure. So, but
get that clownfish, man.
Yeah. I'm going to start with Self-Made with some final words. You still there? Self, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
It's over, boys. It's over. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was just down there sniping Uncle Gun's trolls, and I just wanted to come up and say hi to everyone.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
That's about it.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. We have some great conversation offline, man, always. And very, very talented Self-Made is, man. So you guys check him out on Instagram. Check him out on
OnlyFans.
Yep, OnlyFans.
Good God. I forgot he has that.
Self-Made in the hose. I got everyone's peach.
Hey, on his feet pics, I'm actually the Ansel Adams taking the pictures.
Good God.
So, support your guy.
Deuces.
Let's go to Uncle Guns. Guns, final words, man.
It's never over. Ever, ever, ever. It's never over. It's never over until you stop breathing and they throw you in the dirt. But don't show up. Don't show up on purpose. You should be, what's that? I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to murder this, but it's what's his name? He played Johnny Depp played him in the fucking movie. You should be sliding in on fire, leaking oil, screaming, wow, what a ride. I mean, it's never, ever over. As long as you're breathing, you got a chance to turn it all around. Find the things in your life that are taken away from your life. Find the vampires in your life that are sucking the life out of you. Get them out of your life and start doing things that are adding to your life. Get people in your life that will add to your life. Come here. Come to communities that you're accepted and want to build you up instead of tear you down. As far as that, it's been a while, so I got to do the usual thing. Sometimes it's quicker to draw your secondary than it is to reload your primary. Carry 2 tourniquets, and when it comes to the bad guys, you tell them, don't make me make you have a bad day. Great show, Tony.
Thanks, Guns. Appreciate it. Go to Muhammad.
Yeah, I think thanks for the great stream, Tony, and choosing this topic. I think every man has to search for his own sense of purpose in life, man or a woman for that matter, every individual. And it's different for everybody. Some people find it in religion, some people find it in their work, some people find it in whatever they choose it to be. But you have to find a sense of purpose. Otherwise, you'll be wondering and thinking, why am I even alive? Why am I doing this for? So that is all there is to it. And yes, it's never over. Never, ever over. Absolutely not.
We'll go to base bodybuilding.
Hey, thanks, Tony. It was a great stream. I'd like to just say, find a passion in life. Let that passion give you discipline. And to quote one of my favorite bodybuilders, Tom Platz, and I quote, "I don't believe in luck. Luck comes to men of action. If you have action, you can do it in life. It's never over." Thank you.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, man. I thought you were gonna do the give me baby reps. Give me baby reps. I thought something like that.
I love it. Good, dude. This is great inspiration at the end. Deacon Little, man. Give us something, man.
There's 2 words, like my favorite movie, Whiplash. The most degrading line, good work. I was like, ouch, now I'm playing. That was a good movie. But anyway, yeah, shout out to you, Tony. It is always a great privilege being on these streams with the rest of you guys, sharing the likes of greats like Uncle Guns with a sawed-off double barrel, and the cigar.
Stop it.
Caduceus right now, being the host with the most.
Yes, sir.
Man, you guys have definitely been a great inspiration, even for me, because believe it or not, I was that kid at one point. That was at age 34, because I didn't know where to go and what to do. But then I found a group of people, through some other crazy people, that actually is an awesome group and has been a positive influence in my life. And, now I'm growing at leaps and bounds. Self-made dude, shout out to you, man. Muhammad, you are the man. Shift is the dynamic financial counselor ever because he doesn't bullshit you at all. But at the same time, guys, great show. It's always a pleasure sharing these streams and sharing like-minded ideas as well.
Thanks, Deacon, man. Appreciate you. We'll go to Shift.
Yeah, basically the day is not good or bad, it just is. And resistance is never futile, because if it is, then you're dead. So it's never over. Honestly, failure is not an option, period. No exceptions. Ascend or devolve. And if you choose to devolve, then accept it. But don't get mad if someone makes a plan for you, whether you like it or not. So have full accountability and embrace adapt or die metaphorically. No middle ground. You have no other option.
Absolutely, man. Great words, man. And we'll go to Caduceus, the vital message.
Thanks for having me on, Tony, here. I'd just say anyone who's in a similar position to that guy or might feel a little stuck, lost, I would just ask you, when would you feel like your mindset or your actions are damaging to your situation? When, I would advise to contextualize your life in terms of things that you enjoy doing, some things you want to achieve in the future. And I just want to I suggest anyone to put a metric on where they are so they can figure out where they progress forward, where they ascend, or where they devolve. so you can have like something to work with.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And I'm sure everybody appreciates everybody's final words here. That was all positive, man. And that's what I wanted to hear tonight. So hopefully we created some solutions or helped somebody with something tonight. I'm going to give a shout out to the chat. Darkest night, man. It's not over, bro. Let's get rid of that mindset. It's going to be good. So, but everybody in the chat, appreciate all of you. The panel, everybody that's watching, much love, honor, and respect to everybody. And we will see you soon. Take care. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate all of you. Cheers.
Cheerio.